shut the freezer before you went to the bathroom, dear. First time on time to work, and then a kid calls me out. Hey, Selena, how's everybody doing? Sorry if I was MIA for your entry. I kept hearing the alarm go off on the refrigerator, and I'm like, okay, why is there an alarm going off for the past 5 minutes? So, had to go check on that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to My Life is a Classroom. My name is Lonee Appleton. Hello, Miguel. Scrolling through or stopping by, we appreciate you. I am a healthy family advocate. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, posting videos with your community, and get to know me. We talk about what's going on in my life. You comment in the comment section, and we discuss the things that have been said in the comment section. And that is just how we vibe over here. I'm only going to be on briefly today because I have to clean up. My house as is, my children have been cleaning. And so their standard of cleaning, even though I have been on them, mostly I've been on my oldest daughter versus my younger kids. Maybe that's why my oldest knows how to clean and my youngers don't, but the methodology that I use to teach my child how to clean probably isn't the methodology that I want to use to teach my younger children how to clean. And the only thing that I could think of to teach my younger kids how to clean is to actually sit on top of them and make sure they do everything. You missed a spot, you missed a spot, you missed a spot. And I don't want to do that because that defeats the purpose of having my kids clean. If I have to sit there and dictate or manage, then I don't want to do it. So, how's it going, Sophia? I am just rambling until someone shows up and engages with me, so welcome. Hopefully you engage, you join the conversation. I am talking about I have to clean today, and I have to do a thorough cleaning. My landlord said, I want you guys to step up the cleaning game. His uncle came and did a walkthrough, and in his walkthrough, apparently, my cleaning standards weren't up to his shit. My house isn't up to my standards because, again, I allow my kids to clean it. I threw up my hands. I was like, I'm tired of feeling like a maid. I'm tired of spending 10 hours. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Naomi, for real. How are you, Naomi? I told my kids, I'm just totally tired of cleaning for 5 hours and you guys go right behind me and make a mess. So I stopped cleaning and put it in the hands of the children. So what you see in the background of my videos, this is how my children and my husband chooses to live, and I match their energy because it was so stressful for me to try to get them to match my energy. I was literally pissed off on cleaning day, and Dre was like, you hate cleaning. I was like, actually, I love cleaning, but I hate cleaning with the knowing that as soon as I finish cleaning, you guys are going to start messing it up. Welcome to the live. I am Lonee Appleton. If you're a part of the community, you already know who I am. If you're not a part of the community, I'm a healthy family advocate. I talk about healing your relationships. I talk about healing your relationships with your spouse, healing your relationships with your children, healing your relationships with yourself, because the first relationship that you should focus on healing is the one with yourself. What are the things that you are telling yourself in your head? Welcome, Mello. What are the things that you are telling yourself verbally? For many years, I spent many years telling myself very negative things about myself, and I had to see Bizzle, and I had to learn to stop with that negative self-speak, and I captured that entire journey in my book, What's the Best That Can Happen, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Yes, I have merch. I am wearing my F These Kids, I'm Raising Adults shirt. I created this shirt because someone came into my comments, was like, I'm looking for a really good F These Kids shirt, but I can't find one. And I was like, you know what? I was one of the first people that I know personally to say F These Kids. Maybe get more of me and less of the sheet that I hung behind me. Hey guys, thank you for the hearts. I love hearts. I love gifts. I love tips. If I bless your soul, let me know. By hearting me, by gifting me, by tipping me, by commenting. Definitely, if I'm not able to get into the comment section, converse amongst yourself, because we are creating community over here We are creating sisterhood and brotherhood. Over here, we are being a support to each other, whatever that looks like. So I definitely appreciate all of the hearts. Yes, thank you, thank you. I'll even get you a little AI with my appreciation. Yes. So that is what we do over here. We are growing the family. We are healing ourselves, because in our healing of ourselves, then we're able to heal our children. Our children's limitations are our limitations. If we're not able to speak and feed life into our children, then we need some work. We have some work to do. So the topics that I have today, I have my board over here with 14 potential topics. I got my notebook here with lots of topics. Let's hop into meditation, how to bloom it out and become the observer. Something that I have figured out about meditation is just, and this is per me, right? Meditation is just a training ground on how you should conduct yourself through life. So I have historically thought meditation was something that I do here and it stays here and then it prepares me for my day. But now I am under the understanding that now that I am actually, and this is going to sound weird, but those of you who rock with me, it's not going to sound weird at all. But what I do, welcome. What I do is I step outside of my body, and this is all, woo-wooism. I'm literally not stepping out of my body, but welcome, guys. I hope you stay and listen and learn and participate in the comment section. My consciousness steps out of my body and I go through life as the observer. If you go through life as the observer, then you are able to learn from your life. Someone said, hey, thank you for sharing your vacation with us. And we didn't really do anything in Jamaica that was like, ooh, wow, which was kind of my hang up when we went, because most people, when they share what they're doing, they're showing their look at me moments. And so when I was going on vacation, I was like, damn, we can't afford to have any look at me moments. What am I going to share? But the whole premise of my page, the whole premise of my life is my classroom, is to demonstrate to others that you don't have to have these big, huge look at me moments for your life to be important, for your life to be valued. So when people are like, thank you for sharing your vacation with us, you made the most out of it. We did. How do we make the most out of our vacation? Moments. We did not take a moment for granted. This moment in time in your life, if you are stopping in for a second, or if you're stopping in for the duration of the time that I'm here, whatever moment that you choose to spend with me, this is an important moment in your life, and please don't take it for granted. Everything that you experience, I can derive meaning, and I always pick up a pen because that seems to always be a pen near me. I could derive meaning from everything. I could derive meaning from this pen. This is a brand new pen that I took out of, This is a brand new pen that I took out of the box. Something that I've noticed with brand new pens, they don't really want to write. And they have like some sort of crustation. I don't know if you have to get through the dry ink or something like that in order to get to the good ink. But let's derive meaning from utilizing a new pen, because I want to demonstrate for you how you should not take anything for granted. If anything in your life bumps up against you, even if it makes you think, let's just say if it makes you think, if it makes you go, then that's something that your soul needs. And those of you who are in the community, you understand what I mean by your soul needs. If you're not a part of the community, thank you for the love. I appreciate the hearts and the shares. Send this live out to other people so they know we're designed to do things, but we don't know what we're designed to do until we have an experience. So when I went to initially start trying to write with this pen, it wasn't writing. I had to work through some stuff before the pen realized what it's here to do, what it's supposed to do. So we as people, we're like pens. We get put into certain situations and we don't know what the hell to do. We've never experienced it. But the person that we're experiencing it with has experience. I know exactly what this pen is supposed to do based on my perception, based on my perspective. And so I'm looking at this pen and I'm dropping it because my hands don't work right. But I'm looking at this pen, or I'm looking at this person, right? Let's make this relevant so you guys don't click off. I'm looking at this pen and I'm already expecting it to do what I expect it to do, because you are a pen and I want you to respond and act the way that I believe that you're supposed to act and respond. So when I put this pen to this paper, if it doesn't write, I have a problem with it. If I allow a person to enter my life and they don't react the way that I want them to react, now I have a problem with it. So we have to be very mindful. Welcome, welcome. I see some of my community, not my community, our community members out there. Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I am here Monday through Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard. What the hell? Bitch is running her mouth too much. I am here Monday through Saturday Pacific Standard Time, which is California time. So please hop in. Welcome, everybody. So we look at people and we're automatically judging them and we're automatically holding them to a certain standard, which is good. We should have standards. We should have standards for ourselves first. We can stop being so judgmental and so, I'm waiting for you to disappoint me with people if we elevated our standards for ourselves first. Because if we elevated our standards for ourselves first, we won't even be attracting into us people that don't deserve to be in our orbit. You know what I'm saying? I am not kicking it with the guy standing outside the Circle K. I'm not. Why? Because I have standards for myself, and those are not the type of people that I choose to associate with. That is nothing against the people kicking it out in front of the Circle K. That's just not my tribe. So when we do start gravitating to our tribe, when we do start we start building our community, i.e. the pen, then we know that the pen that we have allowed in, they may not necessarily have the skills that we have. And if we understand that the reason why we join together with people is so that we can uplift people and grow people. I tell every individual who joins the As the Apple Turns community, we are a community. As I rise, you rise, because we rise together. That is what friendship is. That is what relationship is. If you have any relationships in your life, including that with your familial bloodline people that are not elevating you and you are not elevating, those are imbalanced relationships, and those are relationships that are worth exploring. And we have to explore relationships in the respect that we might be the problematic factor in the relationship. Because if we feel and if we acknowledge that we are a problem, guess what? What do we do with problems? We solve them. So we solve ourselves. But if we continue to walk around thinking that we're perfect and everybody else got to somehow figure out how to work how we work. When I first started trying to write with this pen, it wasn't writing. So if this pen was a person that was like, hey, this ain't my vibe, this ain't how I get down, then this pen automatically shut itself off from me, and I've automatically shut myself off from the pen. But if I kept working with the pen, and the pen has a teachable spirit, I'm talking about people, even though I'm saying pen. If the people that you choose to surround yourself with, they have the core ethics and value of the people that you want to surround yourself with. The basic things, they call it the frequency that you desire. They enjoy the same things that you enjoy. They're doing the things that you vibe with. Then the things that they lack, we don't hold those things against them. We work with them, because we understand this person came into my life to teach me something, and I came into this person's life to teach them something. But if we're always like, well, there's a deficit, we can't be friends, you're limiting yourself, and then you're going to go find people with superficial things. You should be forming friendships and bonds off of healthy things that you enjoy to do, healthy topics you enjoy to discuss. And again, you can identify a friend. I didn't say this, so this isn't again. Welcome everyone who has joined. Welcome everyone who is staying. I appreciate you all. Thank you for the love and the hearts. If we invite people in with the core values, and we know it because they make us feel good. Now, duality. Those of you who rock with us, I'm going to talk about this and reiterate this all the time because it's so very important. We are duality. We are spirit and we are soul. A lot of us are going through life appeasing and feeding our spirit. What is our spirit? Our spirit is our current incarnation. My spirit is Lonee. Hello, I am Lonee Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, and sharing and joining the community. I go live every day, Monday through Saturday at 12 p.m. This is my third live, and I actually was on time today. I am so proud of myself because I have been late to work every day except for today, so I am taking this seriously. I almost was just like, it's whatever. Don't nobody really be watching my lives now, but let's have that conversation now. And those of you who are new to Lonee Appleton. I am Lonee Taylor on the art side. I am Lonee Appleton on the family healing side. So you'll see me use different last names. When I started doing art, I was very insistent on keeping my name as much my name as possible. So I use other names, Lonee Taylor, instead of my married name. And I didn't know by doing that I was actually offending my husband. My husband, he wants me to be happy. So even if my happiness is at his expense, he allows me to be happy. And there's a whole playlist out there on my page that talks about why a man should love you more than you love him. And I'm not saying that you don't love him, but what I'm saying is, in order for a man to allow you, because it is an allowing, right? It's a maturity where you allow someone to have their way. They have to want you to have your way more than they want to have their own way. Because in the female spirit, in the female realm, and I'll finish spirit duality, I'll get back to that. Just remind me in the comments if that's something that you are interested in. Just type in the comments topics that I jump on, because it's called the Lonee Roller Coaster, which means I just go, topic to topic to topic. One thing leads to the next, like I had just jumped on this topic instead of what I was talking about. But if I'm ever talking about something that interests you, just type it in the comments and I'll bounce back. But why a man should love you more than you love him is because it's innate for a woman to nurture. It's innate for a woman to be there and be a provider and to take care of. We are mothers. So how do we get a man who is not naturally a nurturer, who is not naturally all of these things? How do we get him to now yield to us and everything that's necessary in order for there to be a true partnership in the relationship? And that is, they must love you or like you, if we haven't gotten to the love point, but like you more than you like him. Because we've all seen Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That man abused her. I know we only seen 1 or 2 scenes of abuse, but trust me, the abuse that we witnessed there was an infancy. The abuse that we witnessed in that movie, there was a climax to him dragging her out of the house. I don't know if he drug her by her hair. You guys can comment and let me know. I don't know if he drug her by the hair, he drug her by her clothes, but he drug her up out of that house. And that other woman stood there and watched as if she ain't gonna be the next chick to get drugged. Like, we really be ignoring the signs, like, well, there must be something about her that caused him to act that way. No, there must be something about him. Oh, we are talking about my Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and how that man drug her out of that house by her hair or by her dress. And we're talking about, even though that man treated her like crap, cut her off financially and everything, when he was in his time of need, she still came and took care of him. And the point that I'm making is, women will take care of their attackers. Women will take care of someone who treats them like crap. Okay? What do men need? What type of situation do men need? Our present day men. I believe that we need to raise our boys way different than they are being raised today. Wasn't that a crazy scene? We need to raise our boys way different than they're being raised today, so that we don't have to have this type of power dynamic that we have going on. But in the present day, a man has to value you. And he has to value you more than he values the opinions of his peers. Yo, I watched this. I'm going to get back to that. But just so we're all on the same page. Spirit, soul. But it looks like Carby's the only one who's still here. Hey, Carby. So I don't know if I need to explain it because Carby already gets it. So anyway, I was watching this YouTube video yesterday. And it was about homie, HOMI, like homies, friends. Oh, you're still here. Are you familiar with souls and spirits? Do I need to explain that for you, friend? Jim, Queen, Kings, Jesse, do I need to explain spirit and soul to you? Because there's going to be times within my lives I talk about spirits and souls, and there's going to be times I talk about it in my videos. Yeah, you're familiar. Boom, high five. Well, fist bump. All right, here we go. So it was Homie, HOMI hyphen sexual, and then I don't remember the rest, but it was a YouTube video. Somebody who was watching it live tagged me on it, and it was crazy because it was really talking about the homosexual tendencies between men. And I've seen it in a story that I wanted to tell, and I made the video, but I think the language I felt was too inflammatory, so I did not publish it, and I needed space on my phone, so I just deleted it. I should have just sent it out as a story. But I have a family member, a young lady who's, trying to figure out how to navigate these relationships, and she slept with friends. And one of the guy who she slept with first, text messaged her and was like, I don't even know why you mess with my friend, yo, ugly ass, and just talking real slick to her. Like, he was cussing her out as if the friend the mutual friend. So there's 3 people involved in this. There's a female in the middle. There's a boy over here and a boy over here, but these 2 boys are friends. So I'm sure they had their little thing, like, we gonna try to get at her, and they got at her. But the friend over here is talking stuff to the female, like, why you talking to my friend? He don't even like you like that, and we just hit you because we could hit you, and da-da-da-da. But the way that he's talking to this little girl, I'm like, you are acting like a jaded female. The things that he's saying, like, look, if your man cheats on you and you find out and you start cussing the other female out, that is how this little boy, and I say little boy because I'm a grown-ass woman, but this is how this little boy was talking to this little girl. He was just saying just some of the most, is this your friend or is this your boyfriend stuff that he was saying. And I was just like, this is really a weird dynamic that he doesn't even see any problem with attacking a female for sleeping with his friend. And, stop calling him, like all the things that you say when a female sleeps with your boyfriend. Stop calling my friend instead of stop calling my man. It just was really reading homosexual, like the way that this video prescribed it. Please check the video out on YouTube. I think if you type in homosexual, then you'll find it, but I don't have another electronic device to give you the exact name, but Homie, HOMI hyphen sexual. It was really just an eye-opener in the respect that men are deprived in physical touch. And I'm just going to pull some of the things that I got from it. Our men are deprived of physical touch, and they don't know how to go about getting the physical touch. He was saying how, and I've observed this with my husband and my sons. My husband hugs my sons now. He no longer gives them kisses. And when they try to kiss him, he's like, nah, I'm good. We don't kiss. Men don't kiss. And I still give my sons kisses. And that's why we see men who are so quick to try to have sex. Why? Because they want that physical touch. That's why you see men who don't want to sleep alone. Why? Because they're so deprived of that physical touch. For women, if we need physical touch, we could go up to another woman and say, can I please have a hug? If we need physical touch, we can go to another man and say, hey, can I have a hug? Men, if they need physical touch, they need to find a woman. And so it's so crazy how we are creating the men who only want to have sex because they are deprived of physical touch. And so when he said, yeah, when I was around 13, the hugs turned into handshakes from the men in my family. And I was like, yeah, but you still want hugs. You still want to run around. You still want to play. You still have that childlike energy. My daughter, at her birthday party, her 18th birthday party, it was on Easter this year. And she was like, man, I should have asked for an Easter basket. I was like, I didn't even think to buy you an Easter basket because you're 18. But just because you're 18, does that childlike joy leave you? Like, I'm a grown-ass woman and I still like gifts. If you make me a basket with some things that I enjoy, damn it, I'm going to be excited too. You know, just because we reach a certain age or a certain maturity, childlike things, childlike behavior is immature. But liking the things that made you happy as a child should not be considered childish. I watched this video where this woman, her husband, you know, wanted a husky his entire life. His entire life he wanted a husky, but, you know, circumstances, he never got one. And so she finally gifted him with a husky, and he cried. He just broke down like a baby because, and welcome everybody to the chat. I am Lonee Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate, and my life is a classroom, and I'm just talking about my life and things that I've observed. Join the conversation. I see you guys all talking to each other in the chat. When I'm done with this ramble, I will join into that conversation, but please talk to each other, and this is how we build community. Those of us, we are so deprived of contact and communication and true relationship with people. If we're vibing in these comments, you might vibe in your own video comments, so please follow me, follow each other, and let's build our community. Anyway, so she gets her husband a husky, and I'm really impressed that I remembered that. She gets her husband a husky, and he starts crying, and everybody's like liking and sharing, and oh my God, a man showing emotion. Why is the man showing emotion viral worthy? Like, let's have that conversation. Why is a man being able to express emotion a big deal? That means we are creating a space, and those of you who aren't familiar with me, I got kids and they're going to interrupt me. Yes. Yes. Yes, you can have some chocolate milk. There's no milk. Well, then why are you asking me for chocolate milk if there's no milk? I will buy some milk. Huh? I'll get you some milk. I want the strawberry milk. Well, get your strawberry milk then. I have to address my kids. Well, Lord Jesus, I will find you some milk when I'm finished. Mommy's working. Hey, thank you. I just want some milk. Okay, I will buy you strawberry milk, Kaden. Thank you. Something you guys, you have to know about Caden is I must address him or he will fixate and he won't stop. So I can't just talk through and then he'll go find his space. No, Caden wants to be acknowledged, and that's good. I acknowledge him. I don't want him to be okay with being ignored. I don't want my kids, especially my boys. I know we feed into our girls. There's so many programs out here that feed into our girls to teach them etiquette. There's so many programs out here that teach our girls how to speak, how to walk, how to talk, how to communicate. Like, we feed the fucking to our girls, and we throw a football at our boys and say, go outside and play. And so they go outside and play, but no one's teaching them how to communicate. No one's teaching them how to deal with their emotions. No one's teaching them any of those things. And now we have men who like sports, who like video games, who don't want to help clean, who don't want to help cook, who don't want to help with the kids. And because they speak to their peers who are also boys who don't want to do, or men at this point who don't want to do any of the things. So then now it is reinforced that these aren't the things that men do. It's reinforced by their mothers because their mothers are like, these aren't the things that my son are going to do. So all of these things are being reinforced in the home. They're being reinforced in society. And now we have a man problem. Let's eat it. Let's own it so we can fix it. And so I am very much cognizantly raising my boys. And now that I've watched this homie, HOMI sexual video, I was like, I need to definitely make sure, because the same thing happened with my girls. At a certain point with my girls, I stopped touching them. I stopped hugging them. I stopped doing those things because I have issues with touch. I have issues with being hugged. I, for a very long time, didn't want to be touched by my husband. I would actually tell him, stop groping me. He was like, how am I groping you when you're my wife? Because I didn't ask to be touched and you're touching me. And so I had to learn how to be touched. Why? Because I've never been touched. Welcome to the live, guys. Lonnie Taylor art merch available, as well as fuck these kids. I'm raising adults. I'm not raising children. There was a period in my life where I realized I'm not raising a child. Because when you're in the identification, ideology, when you're thinking, simpler word, when you're under the, I want to use the word, when you're under it's an I word, impression. Impression's a good word. When you're under the impression that you are raising a child, you're going to keep your children in a child's place. So you're not going to communicate with them on a level that will grow them up. You're going to communicate with them on a level that's going to keep them where they're at. And I'm not raising children or many humans that's going to keep them where they're at. I want my children to constantly rise to me. But in that, as they're rising to my level, I'm also dropping my message to their level. So I can have the exact same conversation. Yes, I have 4 children. I have the exact same conversation about sex, where babies come from, all these things that we don't have with our littles. I can have all these conversations on each level per child, 18, 11, 6, and 4. I can have these conversations and explain things to them. I was watching the video where I'm giving my husband a massage, and my 6-year-old came over and he was like, "You're rubbing on dad's leg." And I was like, yes, that's a massage. That's physical touch. We're allowed to have physical touch. Like you like me to give you a hug? I'm giving your dad a hug. I didn't have that type of conversation with him. I just said, yeah, that's what I'm doing. But that's an example of a kid is going to express curiosity. And they're going to express that curiosity, hopefully, because in your home, they can come to you and express that curiosity. But if they come to you and express that curiosity, it is not your job to shut them down because it's not age appropriate. It is your job to acknowledge my child is expressing curiosity, and I know if I don't answer them, they will seek the answer for themselves. So when you leave your kid with the "just don't do it because I said so," when you leave them with that deficit, you are leaving them with even further curiosity of why someone's not telling me about this. And then you're leaving the streets to answer the question for your child. So be mindful of that. But yeah, this video really opened some things for me, because what it was really saying is boys go into contact sports because they just want to find an environment where they can have contact. He said it's not socially acceptable for me to slap my friend's butt in the middle of math class, but it's socially acceptable for me to slap my friend's butt in the middle of gym class. So they are just craving physical touch. And there's more that he said in that, but that's just something that resonated with me, where I was just like, damn, I've watched my husband affectionately pull away from from my boys because it's not appropriate. But we as humans, when God created man, he created woman so that man should not be alone. Now, I'm not saying man, woman, I'm saying a human is not supposed to be alone in isolation. And that's what makes this internet so freaking amazing, because I'm able to connect with you guys and I'm sitting in my damn closet. I am sitting alone in my closet and I'm still able to have connectivity to people. So when people say that these relationships aren't real, when people say that these relationships don't matter, they say go and get into the real world. Well, maybe you haven't had success in the real world. But maybe you're able to be successful in this world. Maybe you're able to build bonds in this world. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Whatever you happen to hear while you're here is what you're supposed to hear. So the internet is so important in connecting us. I have connected with people all around the world. And how have I connected with those people all around the world? How was I able to find like-minded people that live in Atlanta, that live in New York, that live in California, that live all around the world? I was able to find those people through the internet and expressing myself and being my authentic self. I didn't get on the internet and start pretending to be someone else. I did when we did As the Apple Turns in 2019. I was trying to act like myself, but also exhibit the behaviors that got the the family channel's notice. So I was inauthentic in my authenticity. But what God said is, I'm going to sit you down, and that is the season that I'm in right now. I am in a season of being set down. You know, I was having a conversation about finances with my husband today, and I was like, look, we keep saying what money is there, but we're not saying how to allocate this money. And so we're sitting on whatever it is that we have, but we have, say we have this much money, but we have this much to pay. So we're not having the conversation necessary to figure out how we're supposed to allocate this little bit of money. And I don't know if we've never been in this space. I've definitely been in a space where I have to rob Peter to pay Paul. I've definitely been in a space where I'm like, man, let me go park my car over there, because if the repo man finds it, which was really stupid, because the repo man knows that your car is probably somewhere in this complex. So they're going to go search. They ain't got shit else to do but go find your car. So unless your car is in a garage, they going to get your shit. But I've definitely been in the space where they're going to take what they're going to take. But here's another topic that I wanted to talk about: holding on to something too long. I have a Tahoe. My Tahoe, when I bought it, and I was able to buy it for myself, I was very proud of that moment, because I have so much student loan debt that I will never qualify for a loan in my life. And there is no way to get rid of that student loan debt. And no one told me not to take out all those loans. I was just like, well, shoot, y'all offering $20,000? I'm taking $20,000. Oh, y'all offering $15,000? I'm taking $15,000. And I have taken so much money that I could own a house, a small house, but I can own a house in student loan debt. And that is not even the money that I've taken. That's all the interest and fees and all the things that's added up. And I've always been on income defer it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the payment on my student loans has been a penny since I've been 20. So we can imagine what all those fees and interests look like. So I just say all that to say, I'm probably not supposed to be qualifying for anything. Like, I have a 700 credit score. Well, I had a 700 credit score. I probably have like a 400 now. But I had a 700 credit score. Me and my husband, when we first got together in 2016, we read Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover together. We read it together because when we were dating, I was like, Dave Ramsey. I knew what to do with money, but clearly I didn't, but I knew more than what he did. I knew what to do with money, but I didn't have any money to do with it. He had money, but he didn't know what to do with it. So we got together, and I found that in most cases with men, they're going to reject the information from the female for some reason. But if they go get the information from somewhere else, they'll receive it. Welcome to the live. My name is Lonee Appleton, and we are talking about relationships and everything else. So I knew that my husband would reject the information, like, no, you need to do this, you need to do this. But I was like, he's not going to hear from me. So I said, hey, babe, did you want to sit down and read this book together? So if there's information that you have been verbally giving your husband or your spouse, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in so long, Ion. Right? Yep. Yes. You changed your name, but you're still the same. How are you, my friend? I think you changed your name. Anyway, if you find that your spouse is rejecting your information, but you got your information from another source, bring that source to them. Now, I haven't had success with getting my husband to watch videos. Maybe if we're together, I'm like, hey, watch this video with me. I'll get him to watch a video. But just sending videos to my husband, that hasn't been successful. Just giving things to him to do independently, I have not been successful. But I have learned that if I do it with him, I can get him to do it. So with a lot of the kickback or whatever, hold on. Stop! No, I want you to stop. So a lot of the kickback and issues that you may or may not, I'm doing well. It's good seeing you as always. Yes, it is good to see you. I recently published a video where I was, you're the one that taught me about the birds and the animal friends. And so when I was in Jamaica, all these animals were following me and Dre around, and these three vultures, like we were going to Bob Marley's house, so the irony of these three little birds, there were three vultures that circled the road as we went up to Bob Marley's house. The same, I don't know if it was the same, but why are three vultures? I'm assuming it's the same. I wouldn't think that a whole new three would group up. The same three vultures circled as we toured his home, and then three vultures followed us down. And I was like, this is either a premonition because vultures got a bad rap, or three little birds are escorting us. And I was like, you know who taught me that? Ion. So I shouted you out, friend. I learn a lot from the community. I appreciate all of you. That is beautiful. Y'all were covered and guarded. No need to be fearful for that trip. You know, friend, and I wasn't looking forward to the trip. And it's because my life circumstances weren't the way that they should be. But if I pay attention to my emotions and how I move, I understand that things that I think that I'm not going to get, things that I'm not excited about, anything that I'm not just about ends up working out for me. So because I wasn't excited about the trip, I was like, hey, Von Trees. Because I wasn't excited about the trip, I was like, I think this trip is going to be a good trip. Von Trees knows how to give the hearts. Yes, that's my baby right there, even though she's older than me. So you still my baby, shoot. You know, I wasn't sure. And so I'm a terrible flyer, but I realized that I'm a terrible flyer because I have control issues. I don't care if I'm flying. I don't care if I'm in the passenger seat of a car. I don't care if I'm on a bus, a plane, a train, an automobile. I don't care. I am a very terrible traveler. And I was like, okay, why am I fearful of flying? Like, I really be up there praying like, Lord Jesus, please don't let all 100-something of us have come together to meet our fate together. Let one motherfucker on this plane be destined to live past this flight, because that one motherfucker is going to keep us up when we're supposed to be up and down when we're supposed to be down. Like, that's literally what I be going through when I'm in these airplanes, right? But and I realized that's control. If I was flying the plane, I would never have a fear of flying because I'm in control. So it's not a fear of flying. It's a control issue. And so because I did the shadow work, something that I talk about in my book, What's the Best That Can Happen, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com, as well as my merch. Yes, LoneeTaylorArt.com. But I did the shadow work and I realized I'm not afraid to fly. I'm afraid to let you fly this motherfucker. Even though you have years of experience beyond my experience, I would feel more secure in this airplane if I was flying it. Ain't that some crazy stuff? And I'm going to use up all your 15 minutes, friend. And so once I realized it was a control issue, I finally had the experience that broke me. The experience that broke me was riding up that damn mountain to Bob Marley's house. That road was all wide, like literally, like the turns were like this, like shoo, shoo, like shoo, shoo, like turns like that. It was crazy with no fucking shoulder. Like, this turn is on the edge of a mountain and we're high up in this bitch, and we kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And Jesus is whipping the V. I said that in a video, and my daughter was like, yes, no ma'am, because if we were in America and what was happening in that bus was happening, I would be on the phone with the police. I would be on the phone with Yelp. I would be all kinds of stuff leaving. No, this ain't gonna let me off the bus, but somehow in Jamaica, and I might have been, so I was chill. But in that, it triggered in my brain. I was like, Lonnie, I need you to understand, because everything's a classroom, right? Those of you who were here in the beginning, the pen, everything is a classroom. And so what can I receive from this? I can receive fear. I can receive my reality that I'm on the side of a fucking mountain, and if a tire blows at the wrong fucking time, I'm done. But Fear of death. Am I truly afraid to die? No. I'm afraid of pain. I don't want to die. I'm in the space in my life where I truly am enjoying living. And yes, please, guys, I could have rode up with my eyes closed. If I'm about to die, I don't want to see it coming. I'm saying, I was up there. So there's moments. And I posted the video. I'm not sure which episode it was, but it's one of the Bob Marley and Dunn's Farms videos. But I'm in there and I'm just like, nothing to fear but fear itself. Nothing to fear but fear itself. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Will you being in a space of fear change what's going to happen? No, it's going to happen. So count it all joy regardless, because what's going to happen is what's going to happen. We are too busy being afraid in times that we don't need to be afraid. So the times that we're supposed to be afraid, we ain't really, it kicks in too late. Like, fear is healthy. Fear is, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but fear is our solar plexus. I believe whatever you feel, wherever you feel it in your body, fear is a manifestation that's telling your ass you ain't in the right spot. Fear is what's telling you when you meet somebody and you're like, and you still just overlook it. That's when we're supposed to be paying attention to fear. Fear isn't, I have control issues and because someone else is in control, I'm afraid. And that's what I realized with Jesus. His name started with a K, but he said people call him Jesus because people's always like, Jesus, take the wheel. And Jesus drove that bus all the way up. Not this black guy, this Jamaican guy named Jesus. No, Jesus Christ got in that driver's seat and drove that bus, because only by the grace of God we made it up and we made it down. It was none of the 10 people in that little van's time. And that's God. And we can't take none of that for granted. You know, my husband, I know this is a sensitive subject, but my husband is always about his son. His son passed away when he was 14 years old. And I'm like, I believe in, we have a specific birth time and we have a specific death time. And unfortunately, some of our death times are before we would like for them to be, you know, and so I'm just happy that all 10 people on that bus, it was not none of our death times, because I have raised a morbid daughter. And so Bailey's like, well, if you don't make it home, you know, I was like, well, damn, sis, I'm about to go I took 2 planes there. I took 3 planes home. I'm riding in vans with other people. I don't know how many times I got in transportation where I'm allowing somebody else to transport me. So there's about 10 times that I was out of my own control, not knowing that I can go to sleep and not wake back up. My dad went to sleep when I was 7, 8 years old. And he had a practice when he wakes up, he cracks his knuckles, right? This particular day, he woke up and he went to crack his knuckles and he couldn't move his arm to crack his knuckles. His whole right side wouldn't move. And I remember that, and I don't remember all of the details of that, but I remember when they were taking him down to Gurney, they dropped the Gurney because they had to take him down the stairs, and he down the stairs. That's a weird memory. I guess that was trauma. Is that trauma because I remember? Why do we remember things? Is it trauma? It left some sort of impression. But my dad being dropped down the stairs, it wasn't a traumatic thing for me, but it is a memory. So I wonder why is it trauma? Okay, I don't know. But there's certain things that I remember, but do I remember them because they were traumatic for me? Or do I remember, because I remember good things too. But you want to know why people are like, why you always remember the negative stuff? Because it's traumatic. Boom, we just unlocked something right there. So we remember the negative stuff and we don't remember the good stuff because the good things did not leave as much of an impression to imprint on us. So we are imprinting on us through trauma, but we're not necessarily imprinting on each other through positive things. Why not? Let's have that discussion. Why are we able to remember traumatic experiences, but rarely do we remember the fun, good times? Hey, Mom, do you remember the blah, blah, blah? No, but I remember some negative stuff. I wonder why. I'm going to dig into that, but that's not this conversation. Anyway, so what I'm saying is when my dad woke up, thank God he woke up, but my dad went to bed one way and woke up another way. So why am I fearful to ride in a car just because I'm not the one driving? And Lord knows if I was the one driving up that mountain, we would either still be on our way up the mountain a week later, or we would be at the bottom of the mountain because another car would have started approaching me and I would have experienced anxiety and I would have overcorrected, and who knows? So we have to trust the people that have been aligned in our lives. I definitely prayed. I was like, God, I want you to send the correct tour guides for us. I want you to send the correct drivers for us. I want you to send us all these different things. And those of you who watch the videos, our ride up to our resort was silent. Our ride back to the airport, that man gave me a Jamaican history lesson. So I encountered some pretty dope and amazing humans, and the things that these dope and amazing humans were doing, we take for granted. Oh, he just wants to be a tour guide. No, you are blessed to have someone who is driving you. This man ain't got to do nothing else but drive your ass. But let's talk about tapping into our marketability. While he was driving me to the airport, or driving us to the airport, he was telling about the history, and he was telling how the people in the community make their own jobs. Thank you so much for the love, guys. Thank you for the shares and sending the link out to everybody else. I'll get into the comments, but please read the comments amongst yourselves and have a conversation. So you're listening to me, you're talking to your friends, not your friends, but you're talking about to the other community members, and we're building those positive bonds amongst us, okay? That's how my lives work. And so he was telling me how the people of Jamaica create their own jobs. And because he was saying how the people create their own jobs, it made me think how I wonder if they have all the, you need to have this permit, you need to have this, you need to have this, you need to have this, all these stipulations that we have in America is kind of a deterrent from creating your own path. But in Jamaica, it's encouraged. Like, we don't have jobs for y'all, so y'all motherfuckers got to figure it out. So that means we cannot put you under our thumbs like they do in America, because in America, we want people to be employees. Employee mentality is promoted in America. People look at me and they're like, bitch, I'm not donating shit to your tip jar. Go get a job. And I'm sitting here telling you, this is my job. And you're actually watching me on my job. You're actually showing appreciation for my job. Some of you are like, yeah, bitch, go get a job like I do and do this on your spare time. That is employee mentality. And something that I learned in Jamaica is they set up a fruit stand next to a fruit stand next to a motherfucking fruit stand in Jamaica. And they're all making money. And like he said, it may be a little bit of money, but they're all making money. Why? Because that's how they live. They don't have the luxury of going and saying, oh, 200 more jobs were created. And they don't have the luxury to be like, yeah, I don't want one. I'm going to go do a fruit stand. No, that hustler mentality, that get it out the mud mentality, all of that, I saw it in Jamaica. And that's why I say, and those of you who are here for the beginning, derive meaning from everything. Derive meaning from a pen. Derive meaning from what this man is telling me. Yes, he is telling me about the spirit of Jamaica, but how can I take that spirit of Jamaica, put it in myself, and bring it back to here? And how did I, don't take this for granted, how did I end up getting the bus driver? Because remember, the bus driver that I had to my resort didn't say nothing, and that motherfucker almost killed me a couple times, but maybe he didn't. I don't know, because by the time I got into my fourth taxi, I was used to motherfuckers just, like, it's crazy, and they be narrowing, and then there's oncoming traffic, and these motherfuckers are skirting, and it's weird. You guys gotta go to Jamaica. Just the ride from the airport to the resort should be life-changing for you if you're used to motherfuckers. Like, in America, when you're passing somebody, that motherfucker will speed up so you can't get over. Like, it's shit that happens in America. In Jamaica, that's the culture. Boom. This is what we doing. We got one lane and I don't have to sit behind you and I don't have to feel pressured by you. I'm running my race and I allow you to run yours. Not in America. I'm running my race. Oh, you don't like the way I'm running my race? You don't like the way I'm You've crashed and I'm going to go about my way because I don't give a fuck about you. That is American mentality. And that is why this country is so fucked up. And we're like, oh, America, oh, America. How are we raising our children? How are we raising ourselves? How are we teaching ourselves not to be the next asshole? And so when he was like, we make our own jobs, I was like, shoot, I'm coming back home and I'm making my own job. And it may not be today. Something that I learned, and I was telling one of my friends that I have made on here, like Ion and Von Treese, you know, one of the things that I have taken for granted is your support. And I don't take your support for granted in the respect that I don't appreciate it. I deeply appreciate your support. No, I take it for granted in the respect that I'm like, oh, well, Von Tree supports me because she's my friend. Ion talks to me or supports me because she's my friend. So-and-so bought this and they tipped my jar because they're my friend. No, I don't know you people. Let's keep it G. Let's keep it a buck. We don't know each other. We all met here on TikTok. That means that I have earned your support. I have earned your respect. I have earned you sitting on a live for 15 minutes. I have earned you only have 15 minutes and you're giving it to me. And I can't take that for granted. I have to understand that the road that I'm on is going to be earned person by person, follow by follow. The 5 people that are sitting on this live right now, I earned you to sit on this live, so I cannot take it for granted. So while I'm sitting here like, damn, I only got 5 people on my live. Damn, I got 5 people on my live. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got caught in the trap where I was taking for granted. Like, I was just like, well, they're supporting me because they're my friends. No, you're not. And I'm not saying you're not friends. I know you understand what I'm saying. It's not like we went to high school together and you're like, oh, I'm going to support Lonnie's little video. Let me watch her video. Oh, she got a little t-shirt. Let me go buy her little t-shirt. You know, I'm going to show her support. No. I came, I fed you, and you fed back. And that's friendship. That's sister support. I'm just going to say LonnieTaylorArt.com. That's sister support. That's brotherhood. That's sisterhood. How did you get in my room?
Do I lock the door?
Michael unlocked my door?
Yeah.
See, y'all doing team too much. Y'all not supposed to be in my room. Here. Nope, see, you done knocked my camera over.
Let's eat the cereal.
You're coming to get the cereal? I gotta keep the cereal in my room. Hold on. Y'all messing up my production, so you just gonna climb up.
Okay.
See? I take the stuff and I put it in my room so they can't get it. And they figure out how to do it anyway.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Alright, now go about your business. Lock my door on the way out.
On the way out.
Okay. Please don't unlock my door. Mommy's working. Can I get a little respect?
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Bye.
On the way.
On your way. Lock my door.
Very long.
Okay, well then close it. Sorry, y'all. This is my life. Team too much. Y'all know how it is. My new content that's going to start rolling out. I don't remember what I was talking about, but what I'm saying is I don't take your friendship for granted. I don't take your association for granted. I don't take your support for granted. But I was on the road to doing that. But because, like, I can see the names of the people that order and I could see, you know, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so. I know them. And I'm like, I can't wait till I start seeing names of people that I don't know. But it's like, sis, these are people that you met on the internet and you have created such a connection with them that they're, you know, because people don't part. People don't part with their likes easy. People don't part with their follows easy. People don't part with their comments easy. People don't part with their time easy. People don't part with their money easy. So if you have that luxury, don't take it for granted. That is what I learned today. And when I talk about those things, I don't want you guys to get put off, because people are like, whenever somebody talks about financing, and finances is off-putting. But if we don't talk about finances, when are we going to talk about them? If we don't talk about, hey, I appreciate your support, no matter what it looks like, when are we going to talk about it? So it takes a village, and I am so thankful and gratitude. And so when we're building these friendships, the person I was talking to earlier, she was like, I have a bad history with friends, so I don't like to call people friends. And when they said that, I was just like, well, damn, me too. I remember when I was in high school, and this little girl, her name is Jessica, she was like, you want to be friends? And I was like, sure. Our friendship was based on, I don't know what she needed from me, but I know what I needed from her. All relationships are need-based. We just have to make sure whatever that need that's being fulfilled is a positive need and not a negative need, or it's being fulfilled in a positive way, not a negative way. And the moment that it becomes negative and it becomes dissension for us or takes us down, we disassociate. We cannot allow a friend to take us down. And this is a theory that I have on loyalty. Welcome everybody to the live. I'm sorry if I haven't welcomed you in the time that I have not welcomed you, but welcome. I am Lonee Appleton, and my life is a classroom. I have a theory on loyalty. I developed this theory a while back. In our community, our loyalty is stupid. And I'm not saying it's stupid. What I'm saying is, the way that we are loyal to each other is, our friends, our family are going to make one of the dumbest decisions of their life. And they want us to either encourage them to do it, or they want us to join them. That is dumb loyalty. True loyalty is, you see your friend or your family member about to make the dumbest decision of their life and you talk them out of it. That is loyalty. Loyalty is supporting your friend or your family member in living their life to the best of their ability. And in turn, they're going to turn around and help you live your life to the best of your ability. So if you are out here struggling with your friendships, you're out here struggling with your spouse, how are you guys supporting each other? If you guys are supporting each other and your support leaves you feeling drained, your support leaves you feeling like you are less off than when you connected with them, that is a relationship worth exploring. I'm not going to tell you to end your relationships, but if the person that you're dealing with isn't aware, but they have a teachable spirit, then now we got something that we can probably try to edit and recycle. There's something up here where I said, stop masking deconstruction. Yes, we need to all deconstruct. I don't care how beautiful and perfect we think we are. We can always be more beautiful and more perfect. And perfection is in the eye of the beholder. I am perfectly me. My husband is perfect for me. Thank you so much for the flower. I am perfect and perfection in myself. So for people to say nothing's perfect, I am perfect. Now, my perfection is my perfection. Perfection is just acceptance of self. I accept myself, therefore, my face is perfect. My textured skin is perfect. My scars give me character. My gap, I love it. All of the things that I've hated myself about, I have accepted of myself. I read, interesting enough, I need to read it again, The Big Blue Book. Those of you who have gone to NA or AA, you're familiar with The Big Blue Book. But the Big Blue Book really taught me some life principles, even though it was my mom's. My mom's went to NA many times, and she had the Big Blue Book, and I found it when I was going through her things. But something that, it's the serenity prayer or something like that. Accept the things that we can change, or change the things that we can change, and accept the things that we can't. Something like that. Y'all know I only know 50%. 50%, but that 50% will get you to where you need to go. At least it got me. That's all I needed to know. I didn't need to know 100%. I just needed 50%. Welcome to the live, guys. I'm Lonee Appleton. My life is a classroom. Hope you stick around and catch some of the classroom tips. Anyway, it says change the things that you could change, accept the things that you can't change. And so this was in 2013. My mom passed away in 2013. That means I got my hands on the big blue book in 2013. And when I read that, I was like, okay, accept the things that I can't change the things that I can. And all of this started, honestly, when I was 15, when my cousin told me that nobody likes you but me. And she pretty much was saying, nobody likes you and I tolerate your ass. And I was like, well, I don't like that. I want people to like me. And I realize now I still want people to like me. And as a child, when she said nobody likes me, and the way that people just automatically assumed I was a bitch, I was like, well, I'm going to prove them right. Instead of trying to prove them wrong, I was like, I'm going to prove them right. So I became the best bitch I can be. And in that, I also wanted to be liked. So that's really good that I did that work, because I learned how not to mask. Now, my bitch persona, I won't say that was a mask, because I'm not a nice person. I'm not. I have to work to be nice. I think we all have to work to be nice, because we are inherently selfish. We are innately, inherently looking out for self. And in that, that's how me are you going to be, i.e. how bitchy are you going to be. Out for self is I don't fuck about nobody else. And I was that way. But in that I don't give a fuck about nobody else, I wanted people to like me. So I don't care if you don't like me, but I want to be likable. So now I'm starting to do the internal work of, I don't care if I don't fit in, i.e. I'm not going to put a mask for you. I'm not going to put a mask on for you to like me. If I have to wear a mask in order for you to like me, you're not going to like me. You. So that is the bitch behavior that I had. But in that, I do want to be liked. So I'm going to change the things that I can change and accept the things that I can't. So that is how I started on my journey of deconstruction. And deconstruction can happen at every level. Deconstruction isn't just once in your life. Deconstruction should be a constant change. How you thought, how you believed yesterday may not be how you think and you believe today. I will say something on this live today that is based off of my thoughts and philosophies present moment, and I will get off of this horn like when that person came on here and was like, man, you're brave for hopping on this live looking like that. And I was like, how do I look? Yeah. And I responded to them with my reactive brain. I didn't use my logical brain, because my logical brain would have been like, I look like a person. Like, what was I supposed to do? Get glammed up? I'm not getting glammed up to sit in front of this camera, especially after I finish sitting in front of this camera. I got to go clean the damn garage. I'm not putting on a full face of makeup. I'm not going to mask for you. So in that respect, fuck you, because I'm not masking for you. But how can I better present myself? You see, I hung a sheet up behind me because I don't necessarily think you need to be looking at my clothes hanging in a closet. But I'm sitting in my closet because it's the quietest place in my house, and it's my studio for now. One day I'll have the studio that you probably feel I should have. One day I'll have the presentation that you feel I should have. But I'm not going to stop being me. I am not going to mask myself in order for you to be okay. If I have to mask in order for you to be around me, then I don't want to be around you. And that's why people don't like me, because I'm not willing to conform to their standards. They need to accept me for me. And I shouldn't. Damn real. But deconstruction happens throughout your life. Deconstruction can either be case by case or all inclusive. Myself right now, I am going through an all inclusive deconstruction. I woke up in February and I said, this life ain't it. We got to figure out how to do this different, which means I changed the way that I raise my kids. I changed the way that I handle my spouse. I changed the way that I respond to my spouse. I changed the way that I look at, life. And I did an entire deconstruction and reset. And in that, my life is extremely chaotic. My life is just falling the fuck apart. And I'm just like, well, I wanted change. So I can't get nervous. I can't have fear as we go through what we're going through. I'm just like, well, I'm the observer. I'm watching. And that's why meditation is important, because if we meditate, then we learn how to become the observer. Because while we're meditating, they say as thoughts pass. Here, let me go back to meditation. I told you I was eventually going to get back. As thoughts pass us while we're meditating, we're supposed to just watch them pass. We're not supposed to give them any emotion. We're not supposed to jump into the thought and start, having that cycle. I think it's Tony Robbins who said we have the same 40 or 70,000 thoughts that run through our head a day. It's some number. I don't remember. But the whole point is we live in a loop in our head. And we have to intentionally take ourselves out of that loop, which means as these little random thoughts that we continuously have pass us and pass our brain, we're supposed to just watch them in meditation. Now, the purpose of meditation that I have found is now that I have learned how to be the observer with my eyes closed and to not give any energy to my thoughts and ideas, now I can open my eyes and still continue to be the observer in my life, because the observer is the soul. Meditation is connecting us to our soul. And then when we open our eyes, we need to still stay connected to our soul. We don't need to open our eyes and then jump back into spirit and not be the observer in our life, because we are missing everything when we are not the observer. Welcome, guys. I've always been a B because I don't sugarcoat or fit into the status quo. Yeah, I don't sugarcoat, so now I just know some things don't need to be said. Because those of us who are direct communicators, we are probably those who want to correct things that we don't see that are happening that are advantageous for the person that's doing it. I'm not going to say it's right or wrong, but who's to say who's right or wrong? Because who's to say whose methodology is right or wrong? But those of us who are direct communicators, we just want to share knowledge. Hey, there's potentially another way for you to do this. But something that I learned, everybody ain't worth my knowledge. When I get off of this live, it's going to say maybe 400 people have came through this live. But only of those 400 people, 10 people actually were worthy of this knowledge. 10 people actually felt they were worthy of this knowledge. Of those other 390 people, they went out and they went and felt what they were worthy of. And I'm not saying I'm the only knowledge source. I'm not saying this is golden or anything like that. What I'm saying is people feed themselves with what they choose they feel deserve to feed on. My husband historically has listened. I'm not even going to bring him into it. Let me talk about myself. I have historically watched true crime. Like, I'm sitting there with my headphones in damn near 24 hours a day listening to YouTubers talking about motherfuckers getting killed. Like, I was addicted to true crime. I just needed to know. But in that, I'm not paying attention to people being killed. I'm paying attention to human psychology. What is the situation that has caused this person to react this way? And now I can sit here and I can have some conversations about, human psychology. Why? Because I sat and listened to true crime for hours. Everybody's motivation of the things that they listen to is different. And that's fine if you sit there and you listen to Sports Center all day. What are you pulling from that? If your spirit is directing you to Sports Center because that's what interests you, you still should be doing a study on human psychology. Because once you start studying human psychology, you start figuring out how to navigate people. And once you figure out how to navigate people, then you figure out how to navigate your life. And so I am figuring out how to navigate my life. I'm figuring out how to navigate my children. That is all a part of my deconstruction. That is all a part of me getting to know myself. That is all a part of getting to know my children. And the more I get to know myself, now I have more tools to get to know my children. And I can now transfer those tools to my children, and my children can start to get to know themselves and they can gain that confidence. I was talking to my daughter the other day and she's like, man, I got to get this right because one day I'm going to be in a relationship. I was like, sis, don't pressure yourself. But the fact that you want to get this right means that you will get it right. We have to set all of these intentions, and that's a part of deconstruction. That's a part of saying, hey, how I've done this has not been advantageous for me. How I have done this has not been advantageous for my family. How I have done this has not been advantageous for my spouse. Welcome, everybody. My name is Lonee Appleton. My life is a classroom, Monday through Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or California time. You can always pick up some of my merch at LonnieTaylorArt.com. And if I happen to say something during the live that feeds your spirit, I totally appreciate a tip in the jar. Thank you. So when I was talking about stop masking, and I said some humans and some human behaviors need to be thrown in the trash. Our definition of loyalty needs to be thrown in the trash. Loyalty is not going down with somebody. Loyalty is talking somebody out of going down. How are you loyal? By sitting in a prison cell or 6 feet under with somebody. They bury people 6.6 down in Jamaica. I wonder what that 0.6 is, or why we don't 0.6. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong, just different. And so some of these thoughts and behaviors, loyalty, I'm not being loyal. If you come to me and say, hey, and I've done this, yep, we've done some things that could have got, no, please stop. The who? Go tell Angel. Is Bailey still here? Is Bailey still home? Go tell Bailey. All right, somebody's at my door, y'all. I apologize. I'll be right back. I don't know how to pause it. Actually, I do know how to pause it. Hold on, I'm going to pause it. Sorry, guys. What do? I gotta do a whole new setup? Damn, y'all did me. Hold up. Nope, I don't want to go. I want to go square. And I want to go down. Down. All right, I think I'm back on live. There was a package at the door. I thought there was someone at the door. But anyway, we have to decide when we're ready to stop masking. At the end of the day, we have to decide when we're ready to stop masking. And I'm not saying everyone's masking. But if you are. And a lot of us have built our entire lives on wearing a mask. A lot of us have built our entire lives on being what other people want us to be. A lot of us, if we care about being socially accepted, have built our lives based on what society wants us to be. So we have not only built our lives off of what our family wants us to be, we have built our lives based on what these imaginary motherfuckers in society want us to be, because we want to fit into the Black culture. We want to be Black excellence. We want to do all of those things so that we can say me too. Even if our me too is within our small community. Yes, I think some of us to a degree crave that attention, even if it's from our spouse. Even as from our kids, we crave that confirmation, affirmation that the efforts that we're putting out are being received. That's why when I create a video or I edit a video, I'm like, man, I put my foot in this video. And then I show it to my husband and he's like, yeah, that's cool. You know, I don't like that because that may be his response, but that ain't the response that I want. But instead of looking at him like he's doing something wrong, I look at myself, and this is deconstruction. This is like, okay, he was a reflection to me. Welcome to the live. I'm Lonee Appleton. He's a reflection of me, and so I can now utilize his, yeah, that's cool, and I can make sure when he shows me something that he's proud of, I give him the energy that I desire, because you don't want to be someone who is constantly sucking energy from people and not giving it back. It really is bothersome to me. Welcome to the live. It is really bothersome to me when people come to me and they ask me for help, and then when I offer them help, they give me 50 reasons why they can't receive my help. Those are people who are seeking attention. They're not seeking change, and they're not seeking evolution, and you have to recognize those people. These are going to be the people that we identify as energy vampires. These are the people that they see what you have to give, and either they're coming to you for the attention purposes just so they could be within your proximity and gain your attention, or something inside of them can be saying, hey, I see the value in what you're saying, but they're not ready. And that's why I say people fake it till they make it. We have to build the muscle. In the deconstruction, the first time we do something, we may not be successful. The second time we do it, we may not be successful. The third time, the fourth time. But if we stop, we will never be successful. You know, these lives, my energy yesterday and then coming in today, I was like, I may or may not go live because I gotta do an overhaul of this house, which means I gotta go in each room and clean it top to bottom, because I've been allowing my kids to clean the house. And, you know, if you watch my videos, you see what a kid cleaned house looks like. Over here, your kid cleaned house may be pristine. My kid cleaned house is, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, I have to go through my house and I have to clean top to bottom. So I was like, well, I'm just going to not get on live today. But I was like, how are you already going to break your schedule? How are you already going to give up on yourself? If my vision is to turn this live thing into a platform, to turn this live thing into an extension of our community that we already have going on our page, you know, if my intentions is to turn these lives into something like a sister circle where we're vibing in the comments and we're talking to each other and we're all gaining knowledge and understanding, and we're figuring out how to work this world and work our lives, where you guys can ask comments, you know, and DM me questions and we can address them in the lives. If I wanted to be that, then how am I giving up on myself on day 3? Day 3, I'm going to let this life that I don't want my life anymore. I don't. In June or July of 2022, I literally sat up out of my bed and I said, I'm going to change my life. And when I sat out of my bed, I said, I don't want this life anymore. What's up, Miss Lady? I don't want this life anymore. And by saying that, universe was like, boom, let's go. So I started doing the work. I started doing the research. I've always heard about ancestral altar work, and I wanted to do. How are you doing this? What day is it today? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. August 1st, though, I know that because rent's due. And so, you know, I was like, I want a completely new reality. And so I started doing the work to manifest. I never believed in manifestation before, even though me sitting here in this closet right now is a manifestation of me manifesting. Everything we do is a manifestation. If we don't believe in the spiritual side, let's talk about the physical side, where every action has an equal or blah, blah, blah reaction, which means whatever you put out into the world, you're going to get back some sort of reaction. Therefore, that is manifestation. Whatever I do is going to create something, and that is what I'm going to experience. So if we understand that, then now we can start being more purposeful walking through life more intentional of the things that we say, more intentional of the things that we do. My daughter's always asking me, why do I have to be nice to people? Thank you so much for the love. My daughter always asks, why do I need to be nice to people? I was like, because you want nice back. Well, those people aren't being nice back. I'll hold the door for somebody and they won't even say thank you. I was like, the nice that you're putting out there ain't for them to give it back to you. You are just passing that person, but the energy that you are putting out into the world, are you putting high vibrational energy out into the world, or are you putting low vibrational energy out into the world? There was this woman who saw me and my kids coming up behind her going into the Goodwill, and she literally held the door open just enough for her to get through. I was like, that bitch is putting lower vibrational energy out there, and me calling her a bitch, you know, it was some bitch behavior. Can I call a thing a thing? I know that's a bad word, but I wouldn't say that to her in anger, but I can definitely say holding the door only open enough for you was some selfish ass bitch shit. And that's a problem, especially when you see a woman with children coming up behind you. Woman, can we have some mutual respect for each other? And so anyway, she just opened the door wide enough for herself. And I was just like, well, that was selfish. But what would her life trajectory look like? What seed would she have planted if she would have held the door and said, here you go. Have a nice day. And that's how I raise my kids. I raise my kids to, whether you feel like putting good out there, you put good out there because you want good to come back to you. That is true selfishness. Those of you who are part of the community, I preach this all the time, and the shirt's available in my merch shop at LoneeTaylorArt.com. True selfishness is selflessness. When you put out good, you're putting out good because you want good back. So in order for me to get good back, i.e. selfishness, I'm looking out for Lonnie first. In order for me to put that out there, I am looking out for myself first. And because I'm looking out for myself first, then I can now take that and look out for others. Selflessness. So this is another thing that we need to deconstruct, that selfishness is take. What can I have for myself? How can I drain somebody of their life's force, their life source, their energy, with giving them the least amount of energy? That is how we are structuring friendships. This is how we are structuring how we function with our coworkers. This is how we function when we go to our job. This is how we function when we deal with our spouses. What is the least amount of myself that I have to give in order to receive the most? That is the current state of selfishness. And then you wonder why your life is miserable. You wonder why your life is drained, because you are sucking other people's energy, but you are not giving energy back. And the way that energy flows is energy flows, which means you cannot keep your energy, suck up everybody else's energy, and now you're just full of all this energy, but you're not flowing it back out or reciprocating. So we got to take selfish presently off the table. We got to take loyalty presently off of the table. Selfishness is, how can I look out for myself? By looking out for other people. And if that was tip jar worthy, tip the jar. Let's look at my notes. Success, wins, and motivation. Keep going. Yes. The only way that we're going to experience success is if we keep going. If we quit, we will never achieve. And even when we're on the road and we're on what we consider the wrong path, first we have to understand that we came to this earth to achieve something. We don't know unless we're clear. I knew that I came to earth to do what I'm doing right now. I just didn't know how, and I didn't know when. And so I would get discouraged on my path to this place, because remember, I'm 42 years old. That means that when I was 7 years old and God gave me this vision, I've had to wait from 42 minus 7 years to actually realize what I've known that I've came to this earth to do. So every time I've made an attempt to do what I feel that I've came to this earth to do, and I failed, it wasn't a failure. It was truly me learning. My life is a classroom. So in my 20s, when I started a t-shirt line and I bought all these t-shirts, and got all this stuff printed on them, and I'm pretty much the only one who wore my t-shirts. Well, guess what? That was, you learning, that you have capacity to create merch. You have the capacity to create things that people may want to purchase. And if they can, they could go to LoneeTaylorArt.com. You have that capability, but not now. So I was learning. That was training ground. In the past, when I had an online talk show that was called Wyatt's, Word Is on the Street, where I would go and I would talk to people who are known for other things, but I would get into their ideology and how they actually function and move through life. So I would go and talk to the chairman of this or the, successful here in this area. And then I would get down and I would talk to them on the level, because usually when people interview people, and this ain't my idea no more, so I'm giving it to whoever's listening, you go ahead and use that. When you interview people usually get interviewed from the perspective of, tell me about this great thing that's getting you attention. But we never get into, how did you get to the space of manifesting this great thing that gets you attention? Because we all want to marvel at the great thing that somebody is doing to get attention. But guess what? How will you know how to tap into your great thing that gets you attention if nobody ever gives you the blueprint? And so that's exactly what we do on As the Apple Turns. Make sure you follow, because I am living my life out loud so that if you're paying me attention, I am doing the thing that is getting me attention. If you're paying, what is your judge of character? Do you just pay attention to anybody, or do you pay attention to somebody that's worthy of your attention? Don't discount this. Don't discount yourself. Don't take you for granted. Who do you allow into your psyche? Who do you listen to? Who? And if I'm somebody who has become someone that you have listened to, even if it's for 5 seconds, why? What was that message for you? Receive that message, internalize it, and grow yourself. And show gratitude. I love hearts. They're beautiful. But what I'm saying is, I forgot. Success, wins, motivation. Oh, you see somebody doing something that they do well, you don't want to know how to do what they're doing, because what I'm doing may or may not be what's for you. What I'm doing, how I'm doing it, is what's for you. And that's what I share in my content. How I'm doing this. I share my insecurities. I share my confusion. I share my successes. I share my aha moments. I share all those things, not so I could say, look at me, I'm cool. No, I share all that stuff so you could be like, how can I do? How can I use? How can I tap into my innate greatness by watching somebody tapping into theirs? And they're not just tapping into it from a space of, look at me. I'm tapping it into a space of, hey, these are the thoughts that I've encountered. This is the obstacles that I've encountered. These are the successes that I've encountered. And I detail all of that. When I started my healing journey in 2012 is where I want to say I started my spiritual evolution and self-healing journey, because a lot of us stop at our spiritual evolution. A lot of us stop at, okay, I have connection to source. But even if we think about religion, when we think about religion, and what is religion? Religion is just a blueprint on how we're supposed to live our lives, right? This is how Christ and God and however they play it out. I grew up Christianity, but this is a Christ-like walk, right? Try to be like Christ. WWJD, right? Okay, so if we're in that space, we can look at religion, and religion is telling us how we're supposed to live. So we are now taking this. Anyway, I detailed my spiritual evolution in this book right here, so I could put it down. So if we look at religion, and they tell us, they were like, hey, take what you learn and go and live your life according to these principles, okay? But when we start seeking spirituality, the error that we make is we have now found our own personal connection to God. But in our own personal connection to God, we are not taking that and evolving ourselves. and now using this connection as our resource, how to live our life. You know what I'm saying? We stop at the spirituality and we don't fix our attitudes. We don't fix how we talk to our kids. We don't fix how we talk to our spouse. We don't fix how we talk to ourselves. We don't fix any of those things. We are on our self-love journey, but in our self-love journey, we're not changing how we speak to our children. We're not changing how we speak to our spouses. We're not changing any of those things. And then we wonder why we feel so good spiritually. We feel so connected with ourselves. It's because we have not done the spiritual work. And now we need to do the soul work, which then helps repair our relationships with others. So we need to make sure we're not just stopping at spiritual evolution, but we are also moving into the physical world. And that's what's the best that can happen. This is my spiritual work. And after my spiritual work, this is supposed to be a 2-part series, but I only wrote 1/2. And this is soul work. It's so shadow work. Boom. You better tell him, Toya. Shadow work. Yes. Yes. And I didn't even know. Friend, I didn't even know I was doing shadow work. I didn't know what it was called in 2013. You know, spirituality, when I was on it, it was only white people who did it. I remember I moved to Texas, per my experience. I don't know everybody else's experience. But when I was doing it, I moved to Texas and I wanted to do a vision board workshop. And I was going around. First of all, I didn't have confidence. I didn't have anything. I was scared I really wanted to set my flyers down on a counter somewhere in a grocery store and people could pick them up. And that's how they found out about my workshop. I knew that I had something that I wanted to share, but I didn't have enough confidence in myself. Let's have that conversation. Available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Let's have that conversation, because someone was telling me, it's up here, speaking with knowing, building confidence. Somebody told me they listened to me because I speak. Thank you, Toya. Someone said I speak from a place of knowing. I speak from a place of confidence. So they stopped and they listened to me. But it hasn't always been that way. In 2013, when I went to Texas, I was out in Texas and I had just begun my spiritual evolution. And ain't that what we doing? Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. That book gonna be there. It's been there since 2013. So whenever you get around to it, it's still gonna be there at Lonee Taylor Art, or you can go directly to Amazon. Just make sure Lonee Taylor is the selling, because there's resellers out there. But I appreciate your support. I was in Texas and I was like, hey, I learned about vision boards. Now, caveat, my vision board that I created probably, I don't know, because a decade ago is 2013. It wasn't 2013, maybe 14, 15 anyway. Half a decade ago is just now manifesting, because I just now figured out that manifestation happens in the spiritual world first and then in the physical world. And this is my spirit. This is my soul. So when you see me go this way, spirit is current incarnation, Lonee. Soul is reincarnation from lifetime to lifetime, soaking up game so it can get through this lifetime and go to their next destination. Dope as fuck. Because everything I know right now, she don't know. But this chick, her name is Ednetta, she knows. And so she's able to now tell me what to say, and then I can sit here and tell it to you, because the stuff I'm talking about, I haven't researched. I don't know where none of this is coming from, but I know where it's coming from. So it's important to get that connectivity. But what I learned about manifestation is, especially since I've actually finally was like, okay, manifestation is real. And I look at my present day vision board, everything on my vision board that has to do in the spiritual realm, peace, love, better relationship with my family, better relationship with my spouse, all these different things that I can do that do not have money attached to it, I'm doing. And then when I look at my vision board that I created back in the day, where I'm talking about, I want sisterhood and I want, all these different things, I was like, oh, I am experiencing sisterhood now. I am experiencing all these things now. But I also had to look at my original vision board. In my original vision board, the reason why none of those things manifested is because I constructed that vision board. Thank you for the love. I constructed that vision board based off of Black girl excellence. black girl experience. What does society tell me the perfect mask singular looks like for a black woman? Well, a black woman has a dope ass social life. A black woman drives a dope ass car. A black woman has a dope ass job and making dope ass money and has a dope ass man and has a dope ass kids and has a dope ass body. So those are the things that I put on my vision board. Those aren't the things that I necessarily want. I wanted to be a great cook. I hate cooking. If I could make a vision board today, I want a goddamn chef. What's up, Coco? I want a goddamn chef. That's what I want. I don't want to be a chef, or I don't want to know how to cook. I wanted to know how to cook because everybody was like, if you can't cook, you're a waste of a woman. If you can't clean, you're a waste of a woman. Why am I degraded down to my ability to cook and clean? My value as a woman is if I can cook or clean. Other women look down on me because I can't cook. I can clean, but I'm not a maid. So how am I devalued? I'm a dope ass human. I just don't care to learn how to cook. Exactly. I'm going to get my ass a chef one of these days. And until then, my 18-year-old values cooking. So in our family dynamic, we are what I like to refer to as a cooperative. My family, I function as, and I don't know what a cooperative is, but we're all cooperating, so it's a cooperative. I am no longer dictating over my children. I am no longer strong-arming my husband into my opinion. I'm not doing any of those things. We are all cooperating. If somebody needs something, I got you. We're trying to figure out the back to school situation, and y'all saw, if you just watched the video where we got home from Jamaica, our tire in the Tahoe's blown out, and just all kinds of stuff financially is happening. And I'm like, okay, babe, we got this amount of money, but we got this amount of stuff to do. And Bailey comes and she's like, well, I got this saved up. If you need it, you can use it for the kids to go back to school shopping. And I'm like, that's a cooperative. Now, part of me is like, damn, my kids helping us financially, that's something. But on the other side, I'm like, shit, we all in this bitch together. If we fall, she falls. So true selfishness, in order for me to keep this thing flowing, I got to make sure this thing keeps flowing. Selflessness. So yes, in order for me to be okay, I need to make sure my parents are okay. So in this season, I'm giving. And I told her this season, we're in this season. I know I've derived a lot of meaning, but I know that we're in this season so that we can go through it publicly. And that's why I keep talking about it. And people are like, oh my God, she's talking about finances again. Well, my life is a classroom, and right now my finances are fucked. So I'm going to talk about that. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because there is a chance that somebody out there is or has or will go through what we're going through, and how I am going through it is now going to demonstrate that you don't have to go through it where you are like, woe is me, my God, you hate me. Because all the other times in my life that I have experienced a financial hardship, this isn't my first, Lord willing, this is my last, because I'm speaking to a money manager after this one, as soon as I get the money to pay one. But every time in the past that I've experienced this space, I'm literally curled up in a ball crying, asking God why God hates me. Why do you hate me? Why is my life a joke? I can't get ahead. Why? Because you keep saying you can't get ahead. Why are you a joke? Because you keep thinking the fact that you're experiencing this and you're not paying attention. You keep experiencing it from your present incarnation. Your present incarnation doesn't want to feel any pain. Your present incarnation doesn't want to feel any discomfort. But your soul knows you need that pain and that discomfort so that you can grow. So that the next time you see this, you recognize it. This is the first time that I've gone through this, that I recognize it. This is the first time that I've gone through this where I know the universe came back and was like, you don't want to experience this no more? Let me see. And how are you going to respond? Now, I am stressed the fuck out. My Tahoe, and this is what I was journaling about today, I owe $3,000 on my Tahoe. Paid down from $20,000. why the hell I have a 2007 and I paid $20,000 on it, because that's all I could qualify for. And damn it, I was excited because I finally was able to qualify for a vehicle on my own. No co-signer necessary. I did that in my 30s. I fucked up my credit so bad, I didn't independently buy something for myself until my 30s. So pay attention and protect that credit. I teach my kids. I was like, look, I can't tell you shit about finances, but protect that credit. Don't go get all these loans. Don't go do all this dumb stuff. Don't get all these credit cards. Don't do nothing. Protect that credit. Now, I don't know how to tell you to protect it. I can tell you what not to do. But I'm going to learn one day, and I'm going to tell y'all guys once I learn, but that ain't it. But anyway, there's only $3,000 left on my Tahoe, but it's August 1st, so now we have clicked into the third month that the payment is not being made. And from my history, I believe the repo man pulls up around month 3. So I'm journaling this morning. I was just like, okay, God, what is my issue here? Because the truck is broken down. My daughter drove too fast over a speed bump, and the things on the battery, they weren't tightened for some reason, and so they jumped off and they fried the computer system. Now Dre replaced the motherboard, but that did not fix the truck. So now the truck doesn't run anyway. And I'm like, okay, Lonnie, why do you want to keep this truck? And so this is going into holding on to something for too long. And so it's like, I've always said, and it's so crazy, I know all this stuff, but putting it into practical application, that's why I love this community, because y'all will slap me in the face in a second and say, hey, did you hear what you just said? You can't tell us to live this way and you're not paying attention to the stuff you're saying. So that's why I really appreciate this community, because you guys will put me in check in a second and help me hear and receive that's coming out of my mouth. And so God will try to remove things from you. God will try to remove people from you. God will try to evolve your life. You're praying for something different. God's like, I got you. Universe, however you believe, whatever you believe, all I believe is that you believe. All I feel is you should believe in something, because if you feel that you're out here by yourself, it's going to be hard. But if you feel like you got something or someone that's helping you, then that something or someone's going to help you. Anyway, so God will try to remove things from your life, and God will try with a small nudge. And if you realize it with a small nudge, boom, you're good. But sometimes a small nudge isn't enough, so God will try with a bigger nudge. And you're like, I've been in this relationship for so long. I don't want to start all over. I gave him my coochie. I don't want to give somebody new my coochie. You know, we got kids. But God's like, this ain't your relationship. You are blocking this person from their person, and you are blocking yourself from your person. Might as well use some chapstick since I got it. God's like, okay, here's your bigger nudge. You gonna get it yet? You gonna move on? You gonna release? You're like, no, because I've been paying on this Tahoe from $20,000 and now it's down to $3,000. I know if I could just get $3,000 and just keep my Tahoe, I don't have to have this failure. And God's like, cool. We're on month 3 and you can't pay for this Tahoe. This Tahoe is broke down and it hasn't been driven in like 2 months because you can't afford to fix it. You willing to let it go yet? Yes, I am willing to let it go. Unless there's another plan that I don't know, and that's what my current, not gripe, but my current space of understanding is okay, God, I get it. But what am I supposed to do? Give me some action items. I'm not sitting here, woe is me. I'm not sitting here like, oh no, don't take it. I'll call the bank and see what the bank says, but I'm not doing any of those things. I'm just like, okay, I'm willing to release it. I'm willing to release the pride and ego associated with I've invested $18,000 into this, $17,000 into this truck, and they're about to take it. It's a 2007. It's, broken down. Nothing about it is saying keep it. So you're in a relationship way past its expiration date. You're in a job way past its expiration date. You're in, a parenting style way past its expiration date. You are experiencing things in your life that are way past their expiration date. And God has been trying to wake you up, but you were choosing to wake up until you hit the fucking brick wall. Available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Yes, you are hitting this brick wall and you are unwilling to release. And you are prolonging your suffering. You're like, God, why are you punishing me? I'm just suffering. No, God was like, I tried to end your suffering here. I tried to end your suffering here. I tried to end your suffering here. And now it's mandatory. And now that it's mandatory, you want to play victim. When you could have been victor here if you paid attention. So, I've come to terms with whatever's going to happen with that truck is going to happen, because where life is headed, I'm not driving that truck anyway. That truck would be parked in my driveway amongst other vehicles. I'm holding on to some dead, dry fruit. And if you receive something, please feel compelled to tip the jar, shop the merch, and make sure you tune in tomorrow, because I will be here at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I remember Atlantic and Pacific because when I think of traveling into America, the first ocean you hit is the Atlantic. And when you're coming this way, the first ocean you hit is the Pacific. So when I say Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Ocean, California. Yeah. Yesterday I was on live with Casper, and Casper was like, I don't know what Pacific means. I was like, California time. But how I remember is through association. So we're able to remember things because we associate things. And one of my gifts of the spirit is to be able to connect the dots. That's why I don't think like most people, because I see how this connects to this, connects to this, connects to this, how I can derive meaning from them repossessing my truck. So holding on to something that is well beyond its expiration date. And we know what that is. It could be old ideals and ideologies. It can be humans. It can be things. It can be, you know what it is. Shared vacation, shared moments, cleaning, energy, physical touch after an argument. I was talking to my friend and we were talking about arguing. We were talking about it's very much possible to have difficult conversations without them turning into derogatory terms being said and raised voices and insulting each other and using the things that we have done for each other as weapons against each other. Excuse me. How many times have I thrown in my husband's face the things that I've done for him? My daughter used to say all the time, I don't like how you tell me the things that you do for me. I was like, I'm not telling you the things that I do for you to throw them in your face. I'm saying the things that I do for you so you can acknowledge the moment I ask you to do something for me, it's okay to reciprocate. It's different, I believe, with my child when I'm just like, hey, can you do this for me? And they're like, and I'm like, hold up, sis. I do this, and for you, it's okay for you to give back. I think when you're treating your kid, and it's all about energy, I think when you're teaching your children how to be someone who does not just take our current selfish energy that we have, you must point out to them energetically, pay attention to how you point it out to them, but you must point out to them, be like, you cannot continue to receive from me and not be willing to give, because that is the law of giving and receiving. You will cut yourself off from blessings if you feel you just need to receive and not give. And now we have adults who are in relationships who feel they just need to receive. Now you have friends who don't call you back, who don't respond to you in a timely fashion, who don't show you that they value you. And then when you say something to them, they're like, I do value you. You're like, no, your behaviors are not demonstrating that. Well, based on their training, based on how they were raised, because remember, we have our children. Fuck these kids, I'm raising adults. Available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. We have these children for an 18-year classroom. 18 years. We have 18 years to teach them everything we know. And if we faced parenthood with knowing that, boom, soon as you pop that thing out your coochie, or you somehow get acquisition of a child, however that is, the moment that you have acquired that child in your life, because look, I was raised by everybody. I was raised by the streets. I'm a motherless and fatherless child. So that means everyone I encountered raised or imparted something in me. First of all, we need to let our children know as soon as possible that everything that you encounter is a lesson for you to soak up, gain. It is important for us to, as soon as possible, teach our children about their spirit, current incarnation, Lonnie, and their soul, reincarnation, Ednetta, because Lonnie is the vehicle, Ednetta is the one who's getting the lesson. So Ednetta, once we get that spiritual connectivity, I never put religion on my children because religion messed me up so bad. Religion had me hating God. I became atheist. I was like, I don't believe in nothing. Because if that's who God is, I don't want no parts of that, because you can tell me God is love and then tell me he's this big punisher in the second breath. That is not love. Love is correction. Love is not swallowing me up in the earth because I decided to look back because I heard some noise going on. Now I'm a pillar of salt. Don't do me like that. Like, I get it, but that ain't the God that I want to know. I want to know the God that will correct me. I want to know the God that will, give me what's necessary, and I guess maybe turn an old girl into a pillar of salt. Lot's wife. Did Lot's wife actually have a name? I just know she's Lot's wife. She just is nameless and got turned into a pillar of salt. I think somebody that gets turned into a pillar of salt deserves a name. I'm on a Google. Does Lot's wife have a name? But anyway, I raise my kids purposefully, and I always have. But the energy hasn't been right. And something that I'm realizing today is my parenting, how it has been, it wasn't wrong. The energy was wrong. The way that it was rolled out was wrong. But feeding into my children and teaching them as much as I knew, I definitely was managing my children's spirit, their current reincarnation, spirits, plural, their current reincarnation. But what I was neglecting was my own soul, because I didn't know it existed, as well as my children's soul. Now, I knew we were duality. I knew. And that's something that I cover in my book, What's the Best That Can Happen, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. I knew we were duality. I knew that we had work in the spiritual world to do, and I knew we had work in the physical world to do. But what I did not understand was the way that we present day raise our children, largely as a community, is a replication of the master's way of maintaining their slaves. Because our masters didn't feel that we were worthy of knowledge. Our masters never explained to us why they had us doing the things that we did. And if we did ask why, we received punishment. Tell me this doesn't sound very similar to how some of us are raising our children. The master was like, you're not worthy to understand what's going on. Do as I say, not as I do. We haven't made the connection until hopefully you're sitting on this live. And if you have not made the connection, you are making it today. And if you have made the connection, you are communicating with someone else so that they can make the connection. And if you think that they're going to reject you because you are the source of the information, send them one of my videos. Let me be the bad guy. And that's why with my husband, I wanted him to adapt Dave Ramsey's principles, because at the time we didn't have the Budgetnista and all those different things, or at least I was not aware. And so Dave Ramsey really helped me figure out Dave Ramsey, and I'm not going to discredit him just because the community says to discredit him. Dave Ramsey is the reason why I finally was able to have money in my savings account in my 20s. Dave Ramsey is the reason why I finally was able to have an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey changed my life. So we cannot discount knowledge because of the source. Because I mentioned Dave Ramsey before and somebody was like, oh, we don't fuck with Dave Ramsey no more. I was just like, oh, that does not change the fact that Dave Ramsey changed my life. And so when I come to my husband, I was like, we need to do this, this, and this. He's like, nah. I was like, you want to read a book together? And he's like, yeah, I'll read it with you. And really, I was reading and he was sitting there listening. And I think he did he read his paragraphs and whatnot. But if you're running into difficulties with your men, and trying to evolve them into a space of progression. And look, you introduce whatever it is that you're trying to do into your household. But that doesn't mean that your household needs to move in complete accordance to what you introduce. That means what you introduce is now a topic of discussion within your household. So let's talk about this. Let's grow together. This is something that I want to do. How can we execute it in a way that works for all of us? Something that I ran into with my husband was, I was just like, okay, this is what I want to do with the family. And he was like, well, there's nothing wrong with how the family is moving now. And yes, I don't stay on the same topic. So those of you who aren't familiar with me, I jump around. If there's something that you want me to continue talking about, tell me in the comments and I'll go back to it. But, my husband was not on board with the changes that I was making. And I was like, that's cool. What would you like to see? But he doesn't know what he wants to see. So if you're not giving me anything, but we must do something, therefore we're going to go in this direction, because what we're not going to do is stand still, because I am not replicating the master's plan within my home. I'm not beating on my kids anymore. I'm not yelling at my kids and telling them how they're constantly messing up. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm going to speak lovingly to my kids as often as possible. Are there times where I switch back to my old ways? I haven't switched back to my old ways and my old energy in a very long time. So every time that I have reverted back to my old ways and my old energy, I am cognizant of the fact that I'm doing it. In the past, before I have made this spiritual and soul evolution, all of my changes have been on this side. I knew I wasn't the mother I wanted to be. I knew I wasn't the wife I wanted to be. I'm not the friend that I want to be, but I don't really value friendships in the respect that, look, I'm going to match your energy. I'll match energy with friendships, but with my husband, I'm not matching energy. I want you to rise with me, and we're going to grow together. I'm not going to, if you want to stay here, I'm going to stay here. This is a friendship. If you want to stay here, I'm going to stay here. But my intimate relationship and my children, you want to stay here, we got to figure out how we can get you up here, or we're going to split. And that's just the ugly truth about it. And that's why you see couples who reach that 5-6 year mark, because every 7 years we're in a new body. We're in a new form. I cover that in my book, What's the Best That Can Happen. Every 7 years we cellularly become a new being. It's science. It's in a book somewhere, or it's in my book, but it's also science. We cellularly are a new person every 7 years. And we think about that in the physical form. But if we think about that in the spiritual form, in those 7 years, we are experiencing a spiritual evolution. And in that spiritual evolution, we change physically, mentally, emotionally, And those of you who could actually look back at your life, you ain't got to believe me, just look at your life. And I bet you can see a time that you physically change, your thoughts and ideas change. You think it's because I read these new books. What led you to those new books? Oh, it's because such and such and such. What led you to that? See, we discount and we don't value the things that we're doing. Like, my husband has totally transformed his body, or he's in the process of transforming his body after 6 years of just sitting and being a fat ass. We were both being fat asses together. But he said, I'm going to Jamaica. I want to walk around the whole time with no shirt. Caveat, he did not walk around at all in Jamaica without a shirt, except for inside of the room. But I'm going to walk around the whole time with no shirt. So he started transforming his body. That going to Jamaica is why somebody joined through a share. Thank you so much. I hope you stay and I hope I feed you. Anyway, that was weird, but when I say feed your soul. But if you stick around, you'll understand what I'm talking about. How you doing? Anyway, he used Jamaica as his reason why he started his physical evolution. But if we know ourselves enough in the spiritual world, not spirit, but spiritual, if we know enough about spiritual evolution, we understand that going to Jamaica is what the physical world use in order for his soul to connect and do the work. The reason why we don't stick to change is change is topical. I want to be a better mother. I want to be a better spouse. I want to do all these things. But if we don't get our soul on board, it's not going to join together because we are duality. One of us is going this way and the rest of us is sitting right here. And this isn't supposed to be leading anyway. That's why it's important that we get that spiritual connection and we discern between our thoughts and we discern between our higher self. Because the moment we figure out who our higher selves are, then now we can be led by our higher selves. And now we're still going to run into obstacles, but the obstacles that we're running into aren't because we're making dumb decisions. Most of us live by our reactionary brain. I talk about that here in this book. Most of us live by our reactionary brain, and we should be using our logical brain, but we know that this is the last part of our brain to develop, which means the vast majority of our lives up into our 20s, we are utilizing reaction. Well, reaction is emotion. So we're in the emotion. The emotion that we're allowed to use is anger, especially in our community. In our community, we're allowed to be angry. You know, I was literally told when I was a kid, I smiled too much. I was too happy. I was told that I was too happy as a child. And so in our community, all of those emotions are repressed. All of those emotions are not celebrated. The only emotion that we are allowed to express is anger. So now when we're moving in our reactionary brain, we're automatically looking to be offended. We're automatically looking to be all these different things when in reality, our loved ones typically are not looking to offend us. They shouldn't be, but a lot of them are because that is how they are trained. So when we're connecting with people and we're making friends and we're doing all these things, we just got to be mindful of who we surround ourselves with. And our friendships are based on moments. Was this a good moment? You get to continue being my friend. And something I was talking about earlier on the live where someone was saying, you know, I don't really have friends. I struggle with friends, you know, so I don't identify people as friends. I was like, yeah, when I was 18, I met a little girl and we became friends. Boom. Go back to this. We became friends, and my friendship for her was based on the fact that my aunt was like, I'm not going to give you a ride from school. So if I was in summer school, I'm not going to give you a ride from school. So if you need a ride, you need to find one. Well, I got to the high school that summer school was being held at, and I saw a little girl that I went to school with by the name of Jessica. And the little girl, we're 17 at this point, you know. I saw a girl by the name of Jessica and I was like, hey, you know, Jessica got a car. And so I became her friend. I don't know why she became my friend, but I became her friend because I needed a ride and Jessica didn't mind giving people rides. Now we were able to start bonding and creating a relationship from that. But most relationships, all relationships, I'm going to say 99%. You could tell me if there's a relationship out there that's not. But most relationships are built on fulfilling a need. If you don't need something, what do you need a person for? What do you need a thing for? You go and get a car because you need transportation. You go and get food because you're hungry. You go and do things because you need them. You created the relationship that you've created in your life based off of a need. Let's own it. Now we have to decide what that need is. Just because I needed a ride does not mean that I was now going to start using Jessica. No, Jessica had a need from me too. And whatever that need is, obviously I was fulfilling it. But me and Jessica did a lot of trauma bonding on the road to we are healing our relationship now. I met Jessica when I was 17 years old. We are friends today, off and on, at 42. And I just now know how to be a friend to her. Why do I just now know how to be a friend to her? Because I just now know how to be a friend to me. No one taught me how to be a friend, and society taught me that friendship is trauma. or trauma bonding. Friendship is traumatic. Friendship is up and down. I like you, I don't. Talk about you behind your back when we're not friends, and then pretend I didn't talk about you. Spill your business, and now we're surrounded by people we don't want to even tell our most intimate things that we're going through with. So now we must suffer in silence because we have chosen to surround ourselves with friends that we can't even trust to tell them what we're going through. And we think that that's normal. We think that that's normal. We are so isolated because we as a society are raising untrustworthy children who go behind each other's backs and talk about each other. Why? Because they sat and watched us on the cell phone talking about our friends to our other friends. Because friendship groups, if you think about it, are the 3, the 4, or the 5 people. It depends on if you watch, who's the 3? I don't know the 3. I think the 4 is Sex in the City. The 5 is Sisters. But anyway, friend groups work like that. Friend groups are just simply people that you have chosen to allow to trauma bond with you. People that you have chosen to allow to abuse you. People that you have chosen to allow to talk about you behind your back because you talk about them behind their back and they talk about you behind your back. And then you act like you're hurt when you find out that they were talking about you behind your back, but you don't disassociate from them. No, you cuss them out and then you keep on trauma bonding together. That is not how friendships should work. That is not healthy. Any type of relationship that you're around, you should surround yourself with, and that's why we don't get low-hanging fruit. We stop picking our friends up off of the ground and say, "Hi, Apple, I want to make you my friend. I know you don't have the level of standards and behaviors that I feel is conducive with my happiness, but maybe I can force you to be that way." Or we can just say, I'm going to remain friendless and I will allow myself to have moments. And in that moment, we are being friendly. So when the person in the DMs that I was talking to was like, I really don't do friends, I was like, look, in the time that we are communicating and we are vibing the fuck out and we are having moments, we are friends. Now, if this conversation is the last time we have a conversation, well, then that was the end of our friendship. Endings of friendships don't have to be bitter. Ending of friendships do not have to be brokenness. None of that. Endings of friendships is just knowing that you are in my life for the time that you are, and in that time, I'm going to be friendly. And what does friendliness looks like? Friendliness is giving to receive, not taking to take. Because that gets old. And if you have a vibe with someone, it is your job to create and recreate that vibe as often as possible, not from an inauthentic space. Create it from a space because when I experience this, it feels good. Okay, what am I doing internally to have this feel good moment? Okay, yes, I'm pretending to be happy. Yes, I'm pretending to enjoy this. I'm not pretending to enjoy it because I don't enjoy it. I'm pretending to enjoy it because I don't know how to enjoy it. So we need to learn how to enjoy stuff. We are taught just because we reach a certain age, we're not supposed to enjoy certain things. And then we cut ourselves off. We don't know how to smile. We don't know how to laugh. We don't know how to do any of these things. When this woman gifted her husband with a husky and he started, hey, boo, hey. When this woman gifted her husband with a husky and he started crying, I'm not saying you gotta cry all the time, but why is a man crying because he was given his heart's desire viral worthy? And I'm not saying it shouldn't have went viral. I'm saying this needs to be what it is. We should constantly be looking for ways to give to each other. We should be constantly looking for ways to show each other love. We should be constantly looking at ways to uplift each other. Because guess what? When you uplift me, I leave this live and I go uplift someone else. And they go and they uplift somebody else. And they go and uplift somebody else. And that's how you get the energy that's in Jamaica. In Jamaica, everybody is uplifting somebody. And again, I was in the hospitality area. I don't know what the rest of the island is like. But what I know is it is possible to be in an energy of feel-good vibes. And you should start in your home to create an energy of feel-good vibes. And if you felt that was worthy of a tip, please tip the jar or shop the merch. It's all available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Let me read some That should be the norm. It should be the norm. It should be the norm. But guess what? The more of us who adopt the idea of this is the norm and the way that we're supposed to live our lives, the more that we see that, the more that we're going to receive it. You understand? So if we raise our children to give, Bailey all the time is like, why do I have to? Because you have to. Why do you not want to judge others? Because the moment you judge, if life is a staircase and you're going along your way, and the moment you judge somebody, yep, you chose to walk backwards. You dropped your vibration. Why do you want to choose to drop your vibration? I ain't judging shit. I don't care what the next man is doing. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, a long time ago, I said, can you just mind your fucking business? And if you don't want to mind your business, can you at least not create your own narrative? Because the moment that you create your own narrative, you are now moved into a space of judgment. And all judgment is a measuring of yourself against someone else. If I were in this situation, how would I respond to it? Who cares? Because you have a completely different background. You have a completely different outlook of life. You have completely different functionalities. Look, my hands barely work. I'm always dropping stuff. I've lost, strength in them. I got arthritic stuff going on. So I'm going to do things differently. When I open a water bottle, I got to open it like this because my teeth are stronger than my hands sometimes. You're judging me because I'm putting this nasty piece of plastic thing in my mouth trying to open it, not even knowing what I'm struggling with. So why create your own narrative about somebody else? You don't know what's going on, but you can show compassion. Hey, sis, I see you struggling. I know you done put that top in your mouth, and I don't really want your little nasty ass germs on my hand, but can I help you? Do you need help? That is how we start building community. That is how we start changing the energy. We may not be able to change the energy of America. This country is a fucking cesspool. We may not be able to change the energy of our state. This state is a fucking cesspool. We may not be able to change the energy of and however you want to break the shit down, but I'm going to community. It's a cesspool. But guess what we can change the energy of? Our family. We can change the energy in our home. If our husband is not talking or our spouse is not talking, but they're reacting and they're angry, it's because they're not allowed to use their voice. And yes, I say not allowed because the chances are, even when they do speak up, you somehow discount what they say because my way is better. And your way may be more progressive in this particular moment. But you two need to come together to decide. So when I'm in these videos and my husband's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you do. And I would like for you to tell me. And people are like, you need to leave that man alone and let a man be alone. Let a man be a man. I'm not going to let him be a man. I'm no longer going to allow my 49-year-old husband to believe that his voice does not matter. I'm no longer going to allow my 49-year-old husband to feel that his opinion and his thoughts of how his life should go don't matter. Me and my husband have been together for 6 years, and I've made all the decisions. And he's allowed me to because he loves me and he trusts me. Men have to trust you enough to allow you to lead them. And so because he loves me and trusts me enough to lead him, I've led, but I've led from a very toxic space. I've led from a space of do as I say, don't question me. And if you question me, it's going to be an argument. But now I know that I need to lead and he needs to lead. And the way that I lead is I ask. I yield. And this is true submission. Submission is not one-sided. Submission isn't you do everything for me and I don't do anything for you. Again, we're going into the perversion of selfishness. No, submission isn't a man getting a woman to bend over and cook his meals and clean up and wash his dirty drawers and he just be a complete slob and can't even eat her outright. No. Submission is, hey, babe, this is the way I like you to flow. And he flows that way. And he's like, this is the way that I like you to flow. And you flow this way. And that's in the bedroom, but I'm talking about in real life too. Hey, babe, I need help with the dishes. Hey, babe, I need help with the kids. Hey, babe, I don't even have to ask you because you observe me struggling. You see me over here. I got to work a full day and just like you. And now I got to come home and take care of all this stuff while you sit and watch TV because you got to decompress after your day. But I don't get the right to decompress because I was born with a vagina. And then when you fuck me, you don't even fuck me the way that I want to be fucked. Because your ego is too fragile for you to understand that, hey, I know that you've been having sex since you were X amount of years old. And I've known that you've had X amount of sexual partners. But what you have learned with them does not cause me to orgasm. But this is what does cause me to orgasm. Do not get offended. Allow her to tell you what causes her to orgasm so she could have a freaking orgasm. How dope will you be if you were the first man to give her an orgasm? Like, that's some dope stuff. My husband is one of the best lovers I've had in my life, and I've had a few. And he listens. Something my husband does, which I like and I don't like, is he mirrors me. But the reason why I don't like it is because I'm doing something to him because I want to do it to him. And because I know that in the past, he has communicated to me that this is what he likes. And they communicate what they like to you because they say, ooh, do that again. Or they say, hey, can you grab this? Or, so there's different ways that they communicate it. No, we have not had a talk and said, this is how I like to have. And he hasn't said, well, this is how I like to have. No, we have not had that talk. But in the times that we're having intercourse, I don't know what language I could use. I don't want my life to get cut. And I know whenever I start talking about grown folk stuff, people check out. I'm like, I'm 42 years old. When can I finally talk about intercourse? But whenever I post a video that's about me and my husband talking about that, those videos get like 0 views. So I try to stay away from the subject, but the subject is important. It's important that we understand that we should be free to communicate our sexual desires to each other and communicate it in a way that, hey, while we're in the midst of it, in the throes of it, and pay attention to your spouse. I know that my legs are very tense until they're not. So if someone is having intercourse with me and they're paying attention to how my body is responding to them, and they can see, okay, she's loosening up when I do this. This is something that she likes. And this is something that she likes this time. Because every time we do it isn't the same thing. Sometimes you just want to be banged, and sometimes you want to be made love to. And it's to paying attention, it's to communication, it's being this way. There was this guy that wanted to make love all the time. And when I say make love, that's slow, and I'm sitting there like, nigga, get off of me. Shit, I got stuff to do. And I would tell him, just nut and get up. And he would get so offended because he's just like, you don't want me to, you don't want to come in. Like, he was like insisting that I orgasmed every time. Like, look, dude, for me to have an orgasm takes some work. And I'm not willing to put that work in right now. You want to orgasm? Cool. Nut and get up. But no, he would just get so offended because I wasn't trying to make love all the time. My husband was the same way too, but now he understands, like, he does not complain about the frequency or infrequency of how often we have sex, but he makes comments where he's just like, damn, it's been blah, blah, blah since the last time we had sex. I was like, yeah, because you always want to make love. If you want to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I am down. Get in, get what you need, and go. But if you want to make love all the time, I don't. Sorry. I've been talking for 2.5 hours straight. Mama got a little build up. So it's important to receive the communication and to handle it with care instructions from our spouses. It's important to receive communication and to handle with care instructions from our children. And it's important to give our spouses our handle with care instructions. And it's important to give our children our handle with care instructions. So it goes both ways. It's that we need to have our children apologizing to us. We need to have our children taking accountability. Why? Because if our children take accountability, they grow into adults that take accountability. So if we are sitting, we're looking like nobody around here takes accountability for nothing. Who taught them? We let kids hurt our feelings all the time. We let kids do all kinds of fuckery to us, and we don't check them about nothing, or we do check them, but we don't teach them. When we were going to the airport, you're going to keep me on these hearts, and I love it. When we were going to the airport, and the person that was taking us to the airport, Andre Jr., don't do me. And Andre Jr., wasn't available to take us to the airport because he wasn't answering his phone. And when he didn't answer his phone, we went off into, hello, how are you? We went off and we drove off, and then he answered his phone and he was just like, my bad. We have a plane to catch. We have a time schedule, and you disrupted that, and your response is, my bad. I was like, Dre, you have never taught your children how to take accountability. You have never taught your children that certain behaviors and how they choose to treat us is disrespect. This is a form of disrespect. And so we're having that argument, because it was an argument. And when Andre calls, Dre cusses him out. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to him cuss his son out. It's the frequency of the hearts that's funny, because it's like, as soon as I finish, you're like, pop another one in. So I'm enjoying this with you. Because this is training, right? Can I keep, so you're going to change up the frequency. I love it. Because this is training. How can I keep my train of thought? Because I'm always losing my train of thought. And so you are distracting me, and I'm still able to keep my train of thought. So, hey, I love it. He cusses him out. And when he gets off the phone with Andre, I'm like, no, I told you to have a talk with him. I didn't tell you to cuss him out. Because when we cuss our kids out, we're just expressing dumb stuff. We're actually stating the obvious. I called you and you didn't answer the phone. Yeah, Captain Obvious, I didn't. Yeah, and yeah, you're explaining to me. You're just angrily repeating back to me what I did. I know what I did. But how am I going to learn not to do it? Thank you. How am I going to learn not to do it again unless you say what I did and how it impacted you and how I need to move differently going forward? That is how we teach our children emotional maturity. That is how we teach our children how to take accountability. That is how we teach our children to respect other people. You don't not answer the phone, and then when we go back to go get picked up a second time, and he's still not downstairs, so now this is the second time we have to wait for you, and then when you hop in the car, you're like, all right, let's go. You don't say, I apologize. You don't say, I'm sorry for inconveniencing you. You don't acknowledge any of that stuff. So he does not know how to take accountability, and I cannot get mad at him without looking at the parent who raised him, which is the mother and the father, who never taught him how to take accountability. But then when I go to Dre, and I'm just like, you don't have the capacity to tell him he's disrespectful. Because when I tell you your kids are disrespectful, you're like, my kids aren't disrespectful. That's because you've accepted their behavior. Because you haven't identified what disrespect is to you. But someone who said they're going to do something for you and is receiving, the whole reason why that he was going to drop us off at the airport is so that, my ears now are sticking out. The reason why he was going to drop us off at the airport is so that he could use Dre's Jeep while we were out of town. Okay, selfish. You need to use the Jeep. Selfless. You need to drop us off at the airport. So in getting your selfish desires, i.e. driving the Jeep, you must be selfless. Get us to the airport on time. Respect us enough to give us what we need and what we require in order to get what you need and what you require. You can't half-ass energetically give us what we need. Okay, I'm going to take you to the airport, but you're going to be 20 minutes late. No, that's disrespect. I don't care how you cut it. It is. Because you want me to be 100% available to you, but you only want to be 70 or 60% available to me. That's disrespect. That's disregard. And, okay, let's look at it as he doesn't know any better. Okay, can we correct that now? I opened up the conversation in our family group chat and I was like, hey, I told him that I would like to stop having surface level relationships with them. I told them that I would like to not be their mother. I don't want to be their mother, and they're grown. They don't need a mama. But I would like to, how I feed into you guys, I would like to feed into my stepchildren. I don't talk to my stepchildren the way that I talk to you guys. I talk to my children the way that I talk to you guys because they're open and receptive. But there is so much trauma and BS between me and my stepchildren. I couldn't even be able to come to them in a space of knowledge sharing, because honestly, knowledge sharing, someone who is receptive of knowledge is someone who is acknowledging that there's a place of growth there. There's a growth opportunity. So I'm going to stop long enough to figure out what growth is in it for me, or at least that's the way it should be. Some people may be watching for other reasons, but for the most part, if you sit down and you receive knowledge from somebody, it's because that source is giving you something that you find valuable. Now, my stepchildren will get caught up on the source, which is me. And so that's why I've always told my husband, I was like, the mother's voice is the loudest voice because that's their primary caregiver and that's who their loyalty is at present. But after the mother, my husband, your voice is the loudest voice that they're going to hear. So that's why I had to constantly feed things to my husband so that he can then deliver the message on my behalf, because me being the source, they're automatically going to shut down to anything that I have to say. And so knowing that and knowing the direction that I want to take my family, because at present it's me and my family unit over here, and then it's my husband and his children over here. And sometimes I'm able to come over and hang out. And sometimes I feel energetically like I'm not wanted. So I kind of hang out over here. But what we're doing is we're doing all this evolutionary work in this family unit over here. And then when they come over, they just sit on the couch and they judge us. Because, that's what we do. We go and we hang around our family and we judge each other. And then we go get in our car and we talk about each other. That's family. That's not family. And that's not what I want. I want when you come over for Sunday dinner, it's something you're looking forward to because we about to vibe the fuck out and chill. Not this is another task that I have to complete. So this is the energy that I want to create with my kids. And my friend the other day was like, well, they're adults. So, they're going to do what they do. And I was like, I understand that they're adults. And if you guys are finding value in this, please like, please share, please let your community know. If you have not already joined the community, I am Lonee Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. And I go live every day except for Sundays at 12 p.m. My life is a classroom. And as you can see here, I don't even know what that is to respond to it. It looks like a piece of light. So there's your sparklers. 20 times. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Oh, I know how to do the roses. So, I don't want a superficial relationship with my family. I want a relationship that matters with my... Why are you throwing stuff in here? I'm in here trying to get my roses on. Get out my closet. No, I don't think you're funny. Oh, I get 50 roses. Hey. So, you guys are messing up my camera. Can y'all go get some business?
I won't be in the video.
But you don't know how to quietly be in the video. That's the problem.
Hi, Dan. I want you to do the mud for me. And don't be my mother. And do I be the mad? And don't I be the happy?
You're going to be mad and happy at the same time, huh?
Yeah, and to be my mother.
If they what? Your merch?
Yeah.
I mess with the merch. Yeah, that's what up. Go and push that merch, baby. You see, I trained them well. So anyway, I don't want to build... Look, if you guys are silent, you can stay. I don't mind you being a visual distraction, but once you guys become an audio distraction, you gotta go, okay? Which means be quiet. Okay. So with my stepkids, I'm like, yo, I don't want that superficial. It's too hot for all of us to be in this little ass closet, though. It's not. You don't need to be extra with it. You ain't got to be extra. Do what makes you happy. It ain't hurting me. Just don't knock my curtain down. It's real fragile. Like, why are you crawling behind the board? That don't make sense. Get from back there now. Just because I'm not yelling at you don't make it okay. Thank you. Sorry. My life is a classroom. Anyway, yeah, so I was just telling my stepkids, I don't want superficial. I don't want to build a house on a shaky foundation. You know what I'm saying? And so can we please have those conversations that need to take place? Do not. Can we have those conversations that need to take place to clear the air? I told Ezra, my stepchild, I was like, look, if you need to cuss me out, cuss me out. Because Ezra used to walk by me and roll their eyes at me. Ezra used to walk by me and not speak to me. Ezra did not like me. Me and Ezra have bumped up against each other, and I've referred to her to things, and I'm sure she's referred to me as things. You know, so me and Ezra are in a space where we at least have mutual respect for each other, though Ezra, in my opinion, does not know how to show respect. But Ezra comes from a very disrespectful mother. No, can you please let me work, or you will leave. Ezra comes from people who, let me see, how old is Ezra? Ezra is 20 this year.
Yeah, I know she's 20.
They're 20.
Yeah, no.
Yes, but you said she. They're.
Yes, they're 20.
Yes. And so, Ezra is progressive in the respect that Ezra is always learning. Ezra is trying to figure out who they are, and because they are figuring out, stop it, Kaden, because they are figuring out who they are, I think they're more progressive in thought versus, you know, the other kids who are not trying to figure out who they are. So when you try to introduce some other ideologies or philosophies, they reject it. Or this doesn't align with what I believe to be true, so I want to argue my truth versus your truth. And that's not what knowledge sharing is. Knowledge sharing is, stop before you rip my shoes open. Take them off now. And I told you, stop playing in mommy's shoes. You can play in daddy's shoes. Leave my shoes alone. The knowledge sharing is each party is receptive to receive new information. And we don't have to take 100%. Yeah, you can play with those shoes. But over there, son, get out. Y'all don't have to be in this closet with me. Like, real talk. I respect you holding my book up.
I just want to show everybody this is my mom. This is her.
Yeah.
The cute little face.
Oh, look at you. You better love on your mama.
It's really lovey.
It's real loving?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy you see your mom is beautiful.
Hey, let the door do. The door.
Look at his cool shoes, y'all. Did you get the attention you need?
Yeah.
Can mommy finish now?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, what else would you like to do?
I want to that one. Always be mean to me.
Michael's always mean to you?
Yeah. What?
How would you like Michael to treat you?
He be mean to me.
Oh. So now we're back into.
Yes, when I was a baby, he was mean to me. That's why I get my revenge on everyone from.
So he was mean to you as a baby, and you still got beef 6 years later.
So I get my revenge to snitch on everybody else because in this family I snitch now because you guys snitch on me.
Well, I think correcting your behavior is good. I don't think that you should look at it as snitching if somebody's doing something.
I didn't know how to snitch when I was a baby.
No, you didn't. But now you are saying somebody's doing something that I don't agree with, so I'm gonna go tell on them. If somebody is doing let's have this conversation. If somebody is doing something that is hurting them, i.e., your brother jumping into the neighbor's backyard, that's something you snitch on. You don't stand there and watch your brother jump into the neighbor's backyard. You understand?
No. If if he almost fell to the pool, I would be screaming into the house.
But why are we waiting for your brother to almost fall into the pool for you to scream into the house?
So I know, so he can be saved by my sister Billy.
I know,
like, jump over the wall like Mom, like.
But you understand the danger isn't in him actually getting in the pool. The danger is him being next to the pool. He should not even be near the pool.
People's face.
I know. Are you listening? I'm trying to help you be great, son. I'm trying to teach you.
No.
I'm trying to teach you if you want to be a snitch, how you're supposed to appropriately snitch. You don't tell on people just because they're doing stuff that you don't agree with.
Lovely.
You go and tell on people who are making... What do you want to say?
I want to say it like 3 times.
You want to say it 3 times?
Yeah.
Well, say it the first time so we could get it out the way.
Hey.
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 So this is not my mom.
Yeah, this is your mom.
This is my mom.
This is your mom.
So my mom have.
All right, y'all.
So
I don't think. Oh, I missed my roses. Hold up. Nobody told you to say my name.
My mom. Name's Camila.
No, don't tell people my name. Like real talk. Stop saying my name.
Wait,
I know, but if you repeat it, but if you repeat it again, we're gonna have a problem. I told you to stop. Both of y'all get out, cause neither one of y'all listen. See, y'all done overstayed your welcome. Gone. Nope, cause y'all being disrespectful now. I asked you nicely not to say my name. You are choosing to do what you choose. Therefore, you must go. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna fall.
No, you're going to leave.
I'm gonna fall.
And you're going to lock the door on your way out. I appreciate both of you, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you. You can take Daddy's shoes with you. That's fine. Oh, Lord Jesus. When I tell you they heated this little room up, we got... Stop it. Every time you push that, you knock my light over. Stop. Jesus. One day I'm going to have me a studio separate from my house. Shoot. Let me go ahead and put my little part in. I don't like straight down the center parts, but there. I feel better with my side part. But they done got my forehead sweating, y'all. But yeah, I told my stepkids, yo, shut my door and don't play next to it. Yeah, but I told my stepkids, I was like, I don't want to build anything on a rocky foundation. Yes, you will. I'm claiming it. Amen. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Boop, boop, boop. I'm with you. And then, whoosh, I don't even know what that thing was, but it looked like it needed to shoot off. So I shot it off. And Ezra was receptive to me saying, you know, I want to have a relationship with you guys. I don't want, because we went through, and the mom used to communicate, the kids don't even like you, they using you. Now I think a lot of that was, you know, the mom energy transferring onto the children who don't know how to respond. So they're going to align with, you know, the parent that they feel that's being mistreated. And moms do a really good job to paint the picture that they're being mistreated. Mom's struggles are because of someone else. Mom's struggles cannot be because of mom's life choices. My struggles were because of my life choices. My struggles were even because I chose to have children. I chose to have fatherless children. I chose to take the jobs that I took. I chose to be in the relationships that I chose. Those were all my choices. So my struggles are my choice. And if I can take accountability for that, that's not me victim blaming or anything. I'm talking about myself. But because I'm able to take accountability for my choices, I can now start making better choices, right? Like, that's logic. If we say, well, no, these circumstances are out of my control and I'm in these situations because of this outside source. Well, if I'm blaming an outside source, but then I change that outside source, I could go get a new man. But if I didn't change me and the type of people that I allow into my life, guess what? I'm going to receive the exact same stuff. No wonder I got 2 deadbeat baby daddies. Why? Because I did not change myself. I did not take accountability for myself. I thought the failure was in the person that I chose. No, the failure is in me choosing these type of people. And just because it looks different, it's the same. And so my standards had to raise high enough so that I attracted into my life someone who is a good father. I literally had a baby while Dre was my friend. Ain't that weird? He always looks at Angel and he's like, that's supposed to be my baby. And I'm like, yeah, I believe it. But I went off and had a baby with the want nothing ass nigga when I had a beautiful man that I actually asked to be a father figure to Bailey when she was 5 years old, because I saw the kind of father he was. I saw the kind of man that he was, but we were just friends. So he would be, Bailey would hang out with his kids and spend the night with his kids and all those different things while I'm out chasing ain't shit ass niggas, And so I was chasing the bag. I was chasing all the things that society tells us we're supposed to be chasing. And at the time, Dre didn't have any of those things. And so I didn't want him. And I told him that. I was like, you can't afford me. That's what I told him in my 20s. I was so confused. I was so brainwashed. So I had to fill up my Lonnie Taylor Art Sister Support Cup, available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Yes, show love for the sister support. Yes, we are in it together. And sister support doesn't start at sisterhood. It could be brother. Maybe I should make a brotherhood support. Because something that I watched that Homie, HOMI hyphen sexual documentary. It wasn't a documentary, it was just a 45-minute guy. He's in sorry, I wasn't paying attention. He explained, he was just like, there's really nothing for men. Men can't build that type of camaraderie with each other because it's not socially acceptable. Men crave that. Look, if men can't be soft with their peers, and then men can't be soft with their spouses, because in both spaces they're considered to be, hold up real quick, yo, get out my room, I'm not playing with you, I locked my door for a reason, so stop playing. If they don't have a place where they can be gentle and they could be soft, then when can they ever be gentle? When can they be soft? No wonder our men are dying in their 50s and in their 60s. They ain't got no outlets. And when they try to, do the release valve like on these pressure cookers, Instapots, when they try to and release pressure, we call them bitches and we call them pussies. And we say, stop being a bitch and stop being a pussy. Because they're supposed to be strong and silent and not have any type of opinions. We're killing our men. You got there though. Wow, Def getting me one of those cups. Please do, please do. It keeps your drink cold. I did a test and it kept my drink cold for hours. And they come in pink, red, blue, black, and then the cup comes in black, then it comes in white. So it comes in different variations. But hey, it's Trinity, yay, hey, Trin. So, in the last 20 minutes, we can sit and talk and have discussions. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? I'll finish up wrapping up about my stepchildren, and then let's just have a chat. But yeah, Ezra, said that we can talk. So when I finally get a chance to be around Ezra, we can have that heart to heart. And I told Ezra, look, you could cuss me out. I was like, Bailey, my oldest, puts me together every day. She lets me know how I'm failing her. She lets me know how I'm rising to her expectations. Oh, your tooth hurts. Oh, yes, I am here every day, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so California time. And yeah, check me out. How are you doing? How are your interviews going? And Who's next up? Topic: parenting extremely emotionally aware, intelligent kids. Whew. All right, Toya. I might have to hit you off tomorrow after I sleep on this one, but let's talk about parenting extremely emotionally aware, intelligent. You got to listen to them. Look, our kids are our mirrors, and our kids aren't just for us to feed into, but our kids are to feed into us. So if you feel that your child, this is just off the cuff, babe, I don't know, I may have something for you tomorrow, but if you feel that your child is extremely emotionally intelligent and aware, and they're challenging you and they're opening your eyes up to stuff, that means that they potentially have an awareness that they're here to teach you. They're here to teach you as well as you teach them. And you're here to teach them how to navigate that emotional awareness and intelligence. So yes, our kids, this is something I learned in psychology. There's the id, the ego, and the super ego. So our kids are, this exaggerated version of themselves. Like, we know how to tame it down as we get older. Thank you. As we get older, we learn how to tame it down. But when they're kids, they're these exaggerated versions of themselves. And here's an excellent example. I was the gifted and talented teacher at this school. At this particular school, the way that they ran their gifted and talented program was they wanted the kids to use their gifts in practical ways, right? So they wanted me to teach these kids how to just decompress and stop being so analytical and actually applicable ways to use their gifts and talent. So it wasn't gifted and talent, I'm going to give you the extra hard math problems, or gifted and talent, I'm going to give you the extra hard reading assignments. No, it was gifted and talented. I'm going to set up an entire crime scene around the school, and you have to use your strengths to be able to solve this crime. Gifted and talented means we're going to make Ferris wheels and all these we're going to create amusement parks out of popsicle sticks. And now you're using your mathematical skills, but you're using it in a creative way. So now that you have a child that is excelling in this particular area, it is your job to figure out how to teach them how to use this particular skill effectively. So I think if you have a kid that knows what the fuck is going on, they're here to teach you how to know what the fuck is going on, and you're here to teach them how to use it effectively, which is a growth opportunity for you both, which is a bonding opportunity for you both. So it's good that you acknowledge that about your child, and now you're like, okay, how do I control this with the bumpers and the bowling ball? We are the child's bumpers. Parents are the bumpers. The child is the bowling ball. So they're allowed to go all the way until they turn until we die. We're parents until our kids die, but they're allowed to bump their heads all the way around, and we're allowed to let them bump them. If we repress our kids, they never can bump their heads on the bumpers. They can't have the experience. They can't get played in a relationship because they can't have relationships. And then when they get out there and they're getting played in relationships, they can't talk to you because they've never talked to you, and they're getting played. They're replicating what we went through, and we could have told them the game off top. Dre's always like, why are you giving Bailey the game so she doesn't get played? I'm not telling her to get out there and be a player. I'm telling her, hey, can I help you not get played? Look out for this. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the love. Let's see what we got going on. Yes, they on hold till I get into dentist. Oh yeah, because your tooth. Interviewed my mom last Friday. That was fun. That is good. See, that was a beautiful bonding moment. Was it a beautiful bonding moment where you got to learn some more about her? Maybe, you didn't just teach us about, as the audience, about your mom, but if you guys aren't following Trinity has TriniView. She actually did one of her first interviews. She interviewed me, so she gave me an opportunity to share my thoughts and philosophies on a larger platform. Check her out. She's totally awesome. And if you guys are in here and you're part of the community, follow each other, help each other grow, get into the content, because something I know about the people within our community, we all vibe together. So if you vibe with me, you're more than likely gonna vibe together, because ain't none of us really on no shit. We just out here figuring this life out and growing together. So definitely follow each other. Yes, ma'am, my son is perceived in the world as intense, and it's because he's gifted. Yeah, that's because they're so far. Like, if our life is a pendulum, whatever, you know, our gifted children are so far this way, or they're so far this way. So it is our job to tone that intensity down, but not tone that intensity down where we are repressing them and telling them there's something wrong with them. It's okay, here's your intensity. Let me show you how to effectively use it. Because once you learn how to effectively use that intensity, then the sky is the limit. This that I'm in this closet doing for 3 hours now, and I got 5 more minutes because I got to go clean this damn house. The landlord said, you need to clean the house. My uncle said the house is dirty. I was like, well, the house is dirty according to your uncle's standards. He doesn't live in this house. According to me, this house is perfect for these junky ass kids. But I'll clean your house, sir, because I appreciate you keeping us here. Because if we get kicked out, god damn it, we gonna be in a pay-to-stay hotel. Because both of our credit is shot. But anyway, we had good credit. I had finally got my credit up to a 700. I was so excited. I was a 720. Hey, no, go. No, I want you to leave. Stop. You're going to break my phone and my light. And so, you know, I got to clean the house, so I got to go. But anyway, yeah, it's your job to teach them how to use their superpower. Because all that is a superpower. Yeah. Yeah, ma'am, he is here to teach me. And yes. I'm happy I got you, sis. That's what I'm studying myself, and he damn sure does. It's amazing and man, you see frickin' frack. That's all I can say is you see frickin' frack. It's stressful. It's stressful to allow your kid to have a personality. It's stressful to allow your kid to self-develop, because we can either have stress because we're repressing them and they're bucking back and, oh, this kid is so bad. No, this kid isn't so bad. This kid just doesn't want to be repressed, and you're repressing them and they're fighting. Good. They have a fighting. Their soul is so aware that they're like, this isn't working for me. You know how I say duality. Their spirit is what you're trying to repress, but their soul is like, hell no, we won't go. And so we release that stress when we stop repressing our kid and we allow them to have an identity. But now that they ass has an identity, hold up, I forgot how to do my heart. I was like, oh shit, I forgot how to do a heart. My brain glitched out real quick. Now that they have an identity, now the stress is, okay, my kid has the freedom to speak their mind. Why? Because I don't want to raise adults that shrink themselves because somebody in authority is speaking to them. No, I want my kids to be able to speak up for their truths and speak up for their rights. Why? Because then they become adults who speak up for their truths and speak up for their rights. So we have 18 years to train the best possible adults that we can. Fuck these kids. I'm raising adults. Available at LoneeTaylorArt.com. You know, if you guys would like to see some merch, let me know. I'll make it. I actually made this shirt because someone said they're looking for a good fuck these kids shirt. And I was like, yeah, I hate the kid stage. So when I say I hate kids, I hate the always tearing stuff up. I hate that I need attention, so I'm going to come and climb up the wall and do all this crazy stuff. I hate that kid stuff. In that respect, I don't like kids. And I used to be conflicted with that because I was like, I can't stand these fucking kids. I was like, bitch, you birthed them. Why don't you like your kids? And I was like, I don't dislike my kids. I dislike this kid shit. So fuck these kids. I'm raising adults. I'm raising the next generation of adults. I'm raising the next generation of free thinkers. I'm raising the next generation of leaders. I'm raising the next generation of individuals don't have to leave my house to figure out who they are. I'm raising the next generation of people who do not have to leave me to find self-love. If you were searching for self-love, someone did not teach you how to love. That means whoever raised you did not have self-love, because aren't we transferring everything we can to our children? Why wouldn't you transfer love? Because you don't have it, and it's okay. Because the moment you admit that you don't have it, guess what? You can then go get it. All right, y'all, we are at 3:00. If I blessed you, please feel compelled to tip the jar. If you are interested in my merch, I have throw pillows, I have books, I have tumblers, I have cell phone cases. You know, I'm on a sale. This is my job. So yes, please consider picking up some merch. If you're just a giver and I gave to you, tip my jar. But thank you guys so much. Let me get into these comments really quick. I'll do short answers instead of my whole drawn out, I love that you're studying. Some of us don't study. I love that you're studying. We're going to leave it there. Yes, let children be children. Amen. Thank you, beautiful, for your words. Of course, thank you for asking. Thank you for trusting me to advise you. We don't let everybody give us advice, but the ones that we let give us advice, thank you for trusting me. It was a beautiful bonding moment. People got to witness where my love comes from. That is so beautiful. You know, somebody made you who you are, and people got to see that, so that's awesome. Children are unprogrammed. As adults, we'll be surprised what we can learn from them. Yeah, somebody just said, or maybe I came to the conclusion, they're an empty slate. Kids come to this earth an empty slate. We teach them everything they know. And then we are really sitting here dumbfounded about the adult problem we have. Like, we really are like, oh, these men ain't shit, these women ain't shit. That means we have a child problem. We have a parent problem, because before they became an adult, they were a kid and somebody was programming them. But I'm going to leave it alone at that point. Yes. Trinity speaking hot facts. Say that. Hope the rest of your day is full of love, peace, and joy. Yours too, Trinity. Thank you all for the love. Thank you for the heart, the flowers. Thank you for the... If you tip the jar, thank you in advance. Thank you for purchasing the merch. And thank you for sitting on this damn live with me for 3 hours. I'll be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. California time or Pacific Standard Time. I love you all. Thank you. I'm saying this like I just did a show. Thank you all. Thank you all. I have to go. Oh no. If nobody else thinks I'm funny, I do. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Thank you, Toya. I love you back. I truly do. You guys are my friends in the time that we're together. Love is there and we're sharing. And that's what it's all about. Can we give love in the moment? We think that we got to show no love. No. Can we give love in the moment? Can we feed into each other in the moment? Can we be humans to each other in the moment? Now, I could get off this live and forget your name, and so can you. But guess what? The next time we connect, boom. Toya, you my girl. I remember Toya with the H. I'm going to remember you every time I see you now going forward. Why? Because you imprinted on me, and hopefully I imprinted on you. Boom! That was the question I had earlier. How do we remember traumatic experiences? And then on the positive, maybe it's an imprint. I'm going to sit on that, because you have imprinted on me, and nothing that we exchanged here was traumatic. Therefore, we exchanged in love. So how am I going to remember you now? Because you imprinted on me. I learned that in Full Moon. What do they call Twilight series? I learned about imprinting because the wolf imprints on another wolf, and somebody imprinted on Bella or whatever that chick's name is. And I was like, what the fuck does imprint mean? I know what it means now, and I applied it to life. Boom. Don't take shit for granted, y'all. All right. Bye, Toya. Bye, Trinity. Bye, everybody else. Bye, Melody. Bye, Love, and protect women. Yes, love and protect women. We love and protect women by raising our boys and our girls to be wonderful, wonderful humans.